Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all the rest.
Happy New
We
Year.
didn't do anything over there, so you're getting everything in one go. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone had an awesome Christmas and New Year. Let us know in the chat as well, because we'll be going through it. We haven't really spoken to each other too much before that. But let us know in the chat what you've been up to over the festive period, what games you've played or completed. Let's get a little bit of a discussion going, but let's introduce our awesome panel this evening. Unfortunately, Boxy's had a little bit of a disaster with the Christmas tree. So he might be joining, he might not. It depends on how quickly he manages to get it sorted. But hopefully he does. Otherwise, we've still got an awesome panel of gentlemen here this evening. And we'll get through what everyone's been playing, have an awesome little catch up, and then get into the news, of course, and discussions. But first and foremost, let's introduce our panel today. Patcher, Happy New Year, sir. Welcome back.
Happy New Year, Dutch. Yes.
What have you been up to?
Yes.
How you been? And what you been playing?
I've been good, guys. First of all, chat, Happy New Year to you as well, and hope that 2023 is going to be a great year. Of course, gaming-wise as well. Yeah, what I've been up to, had a great party at my nephew with the New Year celebration, so it was awesome. And I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. That's basically the game that I've been playing a lot. Completed High on Life.
Yes.
Story mode. Been a little bit of achievement hunting as well. But
I saw the clip of you fighting the last boss. Well, what you do to the last boss at least.
oh my god, yes, it's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. I'm gonna redo the game again because I've noticed that I missed a few achievements. And those were pretty simple to actually complete. So I'm gonna redo the story again because I really like that game, and it gave me such a laugh. And yeah,
There was
it's
one
pretty awesome
section
game.
actually that you were like really laughing at on stream, and that was when you had the like bears killing each other and things like that. Like when I went to that section, I couldn't do that. It was entirely different. Like I just had to do some weird puzzle thing with the sheets, and like they were like, "All right, you've got to stamp all these sheets and sign them all and things like that." I was like, "What is going on? Like, why have I got this weird like I've got to sign loads of papers and you've got to make them fight and kick each other?" And
sounds like you sure you weren't back at work?
Wait, yeah. So I know exactly which one. It's with the 3 teddy bears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's just like that. And you also, I think Jen was in the stream. You had that one guy that's floating
Flying
around
little
you.
dude.
Oh
it's
my
so
god.
funny watching you laugh at that.
Yeah, that's
I was
hilarious.
in that exact same mission like the night before as well, and I was laughing my ass off at it as well. So it's just hilarious to watch you react to it.
Yeah. But like I said, guys, Call of Duty. I've been grinding a lot of Warzone. Played a lot of games with Perplug. I've been now on level 250, so I've maxed out the levels as well.
Bloody hell!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm on like 60 or something.
Yeah, but you know what it is that with December I bought also the battle pass, so I was able to skip a lot of levels, got a lot of XP, double XP tokens. I had like 12 or 13 double XP for an hour. So yeah, like I said, I've been grinding, and yeah, it's really addictive game for me. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Awesome stuff. So, High on Life completed, likely to go back and complete it again, and smashing the living daylights out of Call of Duty.
Yes.
Sounds like a productive festive period.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I think I didn't play anything else. No, I didn't play any other games or so far. I took a quick look after the 24-hour stream that we did. That we were playing the the Neighbor game.
Yes, yeah,
So I've downloaded Hello Neighbor 2,
yeah,
the single player one. But for some reason I couldn't like figure out what to do, and so I was stuck on that game, and I thought, okay, I'm not gonna play that anymore.
yeah.
I really enjoyed
Um,
that Secret Neighbor though. That was a hell of a lot of fun. With,
yeah,
like,
see,
friends.
yeah. Oh yeah, that was it. Secret Neighbor. Yeah, we had a good
We
laugh
should
with
play
that.
some more of them one day. That a community night of that would be hilarious.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good
that would
fun.
be fun. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Awesome stuff. Next up, Xbox Mick. So you've been a little bit ill, but did you manage to get any gaming in over the festive period?
Well, I got some in. Yeah, I was only ill over the New Year period. Over the Christmas period, I was fine. I had tonsillitis, so it's been. I'm still coughing and struggling to swallow a little bit, but it's much better than it was. But yeah, it's Christmas has been it's been good. Managed to get quite a lot of Skyrim played. Quite a lot of Skyrim
Yeah.
on the PC. Once you go back in, it's hard to escape. But then I did find myself then realizing that there was new the emissaries and stuff rewards for Sea of Thieves changed.
Yeah.
So I've been grinding some of them out recently and playing a lot of that. So and also getting me Athena level up, and I'm at 29.5 out of 30 now. Oh, it's hard
Close.
work getting that.
Oh, so close.
It's so close. So I'm hoping to have that done in the next couple of days. And then I'll have a break. Then I'm going to probably go back to Skyrim.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Before Starfield comes out.
I haven't. Oh, God. I'm so excited for that game. I really am.
And we're gonna be talking about Starfield today as well, so
I know. I'll save the rest. Save my thoughts for that.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Before we get into what Jen and myself have been playing, quick shout out to the awesome chat here. There's a lot of awesome games getting played here. So going up a little bit here. We have Mr. Joanna Dark been playing Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Of course, that's just released. The Resident Evil 8 DLC. That obviously released over, I think, just before Christmas as well. Gotham Knights, and completed High on Life as well. Awesome stuff. Sentinel 17, he said, got Mass Effect Legendary Edition with PS Plus in December, so I had to play that entirely from start to finish. Had to. After that, been playing High on Life and Vampire Survivors on Xbox. Two great games, actually, both highly addictive. What else have we got there? And he said, and another GTA 5 playthrough. Dear God. Is that 5 or 4? 4.
Oh.
GTA 4 playthrough.
4 was awesome.
Oh,
4
was
was good.
nice, yeah.
GTA 5, the game that they'll still be selling us in 30 years' time.
Was it? Did you play through the DLC as well, like the Ballad of Gay Tony and things like that?
Oh,
Yes.
I had Lost and the Damned.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lost of the Damned and the I had the combined
Nice.
on CD.
Oh, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Let's have a look here. What else? What else have been playing? I think that is it at the moment. Drop what you've been playing in the chat. Of course, oh, there we go. Marion's been playing God of War Ragnarok after he completed God of War 2018. I hope you're enjoying that as much as you are 2018. But yeah, let us know what else people have been playing in the chat here.
Got
Yes, we do. Phantos, sir. 10 months as a
Ooh,
Valkyrie,
10
which is
months.
the highest level that we have. So thank you, sir. Much love to all of my midweek mix-up fam. 2022 had its ups and downs, but wishing everyone all the best for 2023. So many awesome games coming this year and lots of top-tier podcasting. So let's have a belter. Let's indeed, and we'll be seeing a little bit more of Fanto this year as well, who has eventually got his streaming setup pretty much ready to rock and roll. And good
And that
evening.
looked really good.
Yes, definitely. And it was obviously great to have him on the reaction show as well for the Game Awards show. So we'll definitely be seeing more of Fanto this year as well. Harry Lock in the chat, of course. He's decided to start the year with violence. Evening all, Xbox bad, Sony best. Oh, dear me. Awesome stuff. But welcome, Jen. How are you doing this evening,
hello.
sir?
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
Year,
Year.
chat.
What you
Yep,
been
not
up to?
too
What
bad,
you
not
been
too bad.
playing? You've been playing a lot as well.
A mixed bag, but mostly over the holiday period, I played a shit ton of Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I got Gotham Knights. It was on sale, but I haven't really touched that game because I've been thinking about playing Fallout 4, and I picked up the DLC, the entire DLC for that, for like just under £9, I think it was in the UK. And I've been pretty much addicted to that. Close to finally beating the main story for that, which I've never done because I always get distracted by that game with the side missions. So I thought this time I'm just going to push through, get all the main stuff done, do some side content along the way, and then move on to the DLC, which I'm looking forward to getting to. Heard good things about some of those DLC packs, especially Far Harbor. I've heard high
Yes.
praise of that. Also went back to Spider-Man remastered on PS5 and 100%ed that yesterday. And I'm going back to God of War 2018 to 100% that, which I kind of started on yesterday as well. So yeah, it's oh, and obviously I got back into Hunt Showdown finally.
Yeah.
And I've been absolutely loving that and wrecking people on that game. So yeah, it's good to be back in Hunt Showdown. And I'll be back to streaming this week as well. So
Hey, but
Nice.
I saw that you are returning to Twitch.
yes, I'm going to return to Twitch because I miss the sounds. I miss being spammed with farts and Peppa Pig noises. So yeah, it's got to happen. I missed it too much. So yeah, I've set up all the sounds again, and my first stream back, they're all going to be set to one channel point. So come spam me.
That's gonna be a horrible,
Oh, it'll be
horrific
fun.
stream,
It'll be
man,
fun.
with all the sound alerts.
I love it though. It's just funny. It's a good time. It's like it's all for the chat, really. Because if you ain't having fun with the chat, then what's the point, you know?
Yeah.
True.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Yeah, to be honest, I've been thinking about doing a kind of maybe 4 Twitch streams a month, once a week on Twitch as well on the Midweek Collective channel. Probably use the Streamlabs version of OBS just for Twitch, so I don't have to keep changing the settings on each of them. So I can just open up Streamlabs when I do a Twitch stream and open up. See, the dual one that I tried for you doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
That's
I think it's because my YouTube settings are set to 2K60.
Maybe. There is a. I think there's actually an OBS on the Windows Store, but if you download, it's separate to the. The other way is to just set up another profile on your PC and just log into that one and then do it there.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And then just use that for Twitch.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
the
just put it in
occasional
Twitch
Twitch
account.
stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest, I have also been playing an unbelievable mixed bag of everything and anything. So I got a voucher from my brother for £50 over Christmas as well for Xbox. So with that, I got Sonic Frontiers. I also got Godfall, which was like £15 or something. And then picked up Ollie Ollie World. So I've been playing those 3. Sonic Frontiers is like the Sonic variant of Mario Odyssey. It's a big open world Sonic.
Say that 2 more times, please.
No, don't.
And it's but it is good fun. It's much bigger than I thought it would be, to be fair. The enemies and the boss fights and things like that are just wild. Going Super Saiyan with Sonic is wild. Going Super Sonic, Super Saiyan is nuts. Yeah, well, we're doing it. He'll spawn any minute. He'll spawn. We know it. But yeah, obviously being able to have those separate cyberspace sections where it's classic, it's what we kind of know from the traditional games, where it's these kind of set levels where you jump on things and you've got like a little bit of platforming, versus the standard section of the game, which is all open world, and you go and explore and you go and collect things and you help things and you've got side quests and stuff like that. So it's actually it's far different than I thought it would be, and it's quite enjoyable, but it's also much bigger. So I've put that on the back burner for the second because I've realised it's a much bigger game than I thought it would be. Godfall, I can understand why people said it was a game. It looks pretty, but it is the most generic combat hack and slash game there is going. Like, it is just so generic. I was like, oh, right, this is why it was why people give it medium to average scores. And it doesn't really kind of guide you too much. You unlock a load of suits, but those suits, you need to go to certain places to unlock them. If you accidentally unlock your first suit and it's not the one you want, tough. You've got to wait a long time until you can unlock the other suit because you've got to go to a certain place to get the certain equipment that you need. So yeah, it's average. So I'll probably finish it at some point, but I'm glad it was cheap. And Ollie Ollie World, which Harry from Gamers Watch raved about for quite some time. We also had it on the indie showcase. That's actually a much harder platforming skateboard game than I thought it would be. It's super hard, actually. It's all about high scores. It's all about kind of getting your flow right and doing tricks and learning stunts and things like that. It does have a good pacing when it comes to teaching you all these different moves and how to do certain tricks and things. So it doesn't just lump them all at you at the same time. Like, you'll do one level, it'll teach you how to jump. You'll do another level, like, further down the line, it'll say, this is how you grind. This is how you do tricks. This is how you do this. So slowly but surely, as the game progresses, it teaches new things. So it doesn't teach you them all at the same time. But yeah, and then I'm seeing Harry's score, and it's just, like, ridiculous. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's in.
Boxy.
Oh, let's change this overlay. There we
Hey.
go. He's in.
Hello
Hello.
and good evening.
Good evening, good
Christmas tree?
evening.
I thought we'd see it sticking out of the
Oh,
background.
Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree.
Fuck
Oh,
the
big
Christmas
hole,
tree.
Big hole in the room.
I have like, my standard evening is I open all the windows in the house and then I take the kids to bed. And while I read their bedtime story and tuck them in, we get fresh air in the house. And we have a little storm around here where I live. And I put my kids to bed and I came down in the living room and the storm threw over the Christmas tree, and we have like a Christmas stand that is filled with water. So I don't know, 10 liters of crap shitty Christmas tree water was poured through the entire living room.
Oh, nice.
No
Wow.
way.
You're so
Yeah.
filling
And
that
what
with,
a
you're filling that with sand next year, not water.
I don't know. Usually the water is actually not that bad because it keeps like the Christmas tree fresh and everything, but fuck shit. And it is like the worst day to happen because you know how my morning, my day started. My wife wanted to go to her cousin and because we borrowed something from her, and she wanted to get her a bottle of champagne as a thank you. And I said, okay, look in the refrigerator in the garage. We have a couple of bottles there. Just take one. She goes down in the garage, and I hear like a big scream. Blah! When she opened the refrigerator, like 4 bottles of champagne and beer came at her, and everything was scattered through the garage. I had to clear out the entire garage, to take out my power wash, clean. It took me like 3 hours to clean the garage this morning because it was like beer and champagne. And now this in the evening, I've had it today. I've had it today with everything. So I hope we have some juicy topics because I'm absolutely in the mood.
Yep, sounds like you had a day.
I had a day. Let me tell you that.
Oh dear me. Boxy, we were just talking about our games that we've been playing over the Christmas period. I'm getting to my last game actually before we get through to yours and what you've been playing as well. Last one I've been playing very recently and started to play through was Spider-Man 2018. After much deliberation and people telling me that I should play Spider-Man, even though I hate superheroes, um, I'm actually enjoying the game. However, I will say the traversal in itself, I think, slows the game down. You could probably complete that game and all of its tasks much quicker if there was a fast travel. You could get that game
There
done
is,
like
but
in
it's
half
not
the
great
time.
fast travel. Pretty naff.
Yeah.
Because you use like the trains and the police stations, and it's still not that great.
Is that where you can use the trains and police stations?
Yeah, like they'll have like a little sort of fast forward symbol on the train station.
Yeah, but you have to get to a certain point in the story.
Well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it unlocks a little further down in the story.
Right, that might help
so-
us clear up some of the things then.
Mm.
Because I was like,
sure,
God,
absolutely.
this is going to
handful
take
of
decades if I need to
mundane,
swing around the
menial
city for every
tasks by the
little
end are
thing.
annoying.
Yeah, I was going to say it'll take us years to complete it if I've got to swing around the city for every tiny thing. But yeah, if I can fast travel to police stations and things, that's going to make it a lot easier. Apart from the fact that it's on a PlayStation 4 and not 5, so I do have a loading screen between fast travels. So
I do have some issues with the PS5 version because the gameplay doesn't feel as smooth as it did on PS4. I don't know if it's they've messed something up in the remaster, but the swinging doesn't feel as fluid as it did in the PS4 version.
Is that not because
Have
of the
you played
DualSense
Miles
stuff?
Morales?
I've played a small hour of it, but I went back to
Right.
100%.
Because Miles Morales
Spider-Man.
ruins like the base Spider-Man game for you. Because Miles Morales is significantly faster paced. Everything is faster. Like the swinging is faster, the combat is faster. Everything is just at a different pace. And
I don't know if I
kinda
played enough
ruins-
with Miles to notice that yet, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall though, no, it might just be me. It might be the fact that it's coming through here as well. Rebounding from my speakers to my microphone. But yeah, other than that, I'm actually enjoying the game. I am enjoying the combat, beating people up, throwing people off the sides of skyscrapers, sticking them to ceilings and things like that. So it's actually quite fun. So I'm looking forward to completing that. But that's the last game I've been playing through properly over the Christmas period. I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and play Age of Empires, but I do intend to because I haven't played Age in a while, and I know Boxy wants to play Age.
Absolutely. I
He
do.
always wants to play Age.
Hey, I'm tempted to play Age right now, so
But yeah, Boxy, welcome back, sir. First episode, of course, of 2023. How are you, aside from what we've been speaking about just a second ago with all of the crashing and smashing and water? How has your festive period been, and what you've been playing and what you've been up to?
Yeah, first of all, let me wish everyone a happy new year. Not just here at the panel, but also the community. I see a lot of familiar names in the chat. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope everyone is going to have an awesome 23. I hope everyone is going to have a healthy and successful 23. So yeah, all the best for you guys for the new year. So yeah, I had a couple of great days. Obviously, Christmas was family time. And then I had a couple of days off work, which was also fantastic because I got to spend a lot of time with the kids and, of course, a lot of time gaming. So I played actually quite a lot, but I only focused on 2 games. So I've been hitting Age of Empires 4 hard again.
Nice.
I was at this point where I just admitted to myself, okay, I'm just not getting any better anymore. So either it's my age and I'm simply not fast enough, or just the people that are playing right now. I noticed that, like, dude, when you compare season 1 and season 3 and the gold tier rank that I play in age, it's like night and day. When I look at my games that I recorded in season 1 and I look at the strategies that actually were successful, then I wonder how the hell did I beat someone above like the potato leagues? Yeah, I don't know. So people have become really good. So have I have increased, but I'm just not good enough for platinum. I was at this point, but then I watched a video like from a gal in Serbia, and her boyfriend is like the best player in the world in H4, and he's coaching her to get to like the platinum rank. And I was like, dude, when if she can do it, I can do it. So I'm back at H, practicing new strategies. I'm trying new build orders. I'm learning to play way more aggressive than I used to. I was a very defensive player. Now I'm fully committed to aggressive gameplay, and I'm loving it again. It's just so good.
Nice.
But besides that, like H is at the level I play, it's kind of stressful. Like really, my pulse is like at 160 during a match, and I'm full with adrenaline. So sometimes you just need to relax. And I'm playing The Witcher 3 again, and it's simply fantastic. I'm at the final mission now of the base game. I've already put, I don't know, 40 hours or so into it to get there. I did not every side quest, but many of them. I made a lot of choices I haven't made before in my playthroughs. So it's my fifth playthrough, and believe it or not, I have always chosen, for instance, Triss as the lover of Geralt. And this time I decided to go with Yen, and let me tell you, Triss is way better. There it is. It's just, but I'm getting a different ending just because of that. I can already tell that. So, and I've made a lot of other new choices, and the game is just so good. The new next gen patch is fan freaking tastic. Spending so many hours in photo mode. Um, the world is just, it's the best world ever built, if you ask me. And the writing in this game, like every side quest is fantastic. The side quests in this game are better than most main quests in any other RPG, honestly. um and the gameplay is just so spot on. It's simply, I think it's the best game ever made, period. It's just incredible. So yeah, that's what I've been playing, man.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yes, we've seen all the photos. We've seen the many. I know photo mode's taken over now as well. Oh, you've muted yourself now. That's the problem.
And a lot more photos will come. So
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. But yes, we will get into today's topics. So of course we do have updates for Redfall, updates for Starfield. We've got kind of updates, and I don't usually want to talk about this, but we have updates for things like the completion of the takeover of Bethesda Activision. We have the funny old time of we've got rumor mill season starting already. Some hilarious rumors, and we'll cover them just for the purpose of having a laugh. But also also discussing some of the awesome titles that we can get in just the first half of the year, the confirmed titles, our most anticipated titles, and we'll kind of break down the ones that we're looking forward to the most and kind of deep dive into them as well. And we'd love to hear your most anticipated titles as well in the chat. So yeah, please let us know as we're going. But first and foremost, I think one of the sort of more positive news articles there was found originally, of course, from my aspect, found originally from Clobreel, who noticed that the support pages for Starfield on the Bethesda site are now live, which usually happens not too long before pre-orders begin, and the game, of course, then starts to be kind of spoken about. On that support website, it did mention that they are releasing within the first half of 2023. So they have reiterated the fact that the game is releasing in the first half of 2023. So it is great news for Starfield. Should we say enthusiasts? I wouldn't say fans yet because it's not out. We don't know whether or not we are a fan of the game, although we are fans of Skyrim. We are fans of Oblivion, and the awesome worlds that the Bethesda team do knock out, like the Fallout series, etc. as well. So, massive. I think massively positive news for the Xbox community and gamers alike across, even those that just want to simply just get their hands on Starfield. It's been one of the most anticipated games for a lot of people for a long time. So it's great to get this news. Mick, I know you are unbelievably excited for Starfield. You went back and started playing through Skyrim again for God knows how many times now. Just in anticipation of wanting to play a Bethesda world because you didn't get that Starfield fix back in November. So what is this reiteration of the release window mean for you, and how excited are you?
Well, first of all, you're right. I had to go back. You don't understand how excited I was when I found out. As you know, I like my achievements, and there was a version of Skyrim that I hadn't played, which I didn't know the PC version when it got the 10th anniversary received achievements. And as soon as I realized, which was only just before Christmas, I thought, yes, I have I have a Bethesda game to go back into that I can get points on. Double whammy. So yeah, that was a godsend. It's definitely helped me get my fix, but I'm still craving this Starfield. I'm a big fan of Mass Effect as well. You know, Mass Effect's still one of my favorite games of all time. The whole trilogy, including the third one. When you go back and play them, they're actually, third was pretty good actually, especially mechanic wise.
Oh yeah,
It was probably
it
better than
was.
any of them. But
Yeah, absolutely.
the story in two was just perfection.
So,
But
so you're also on Team Mass Effect 2, right? Against Mass Effect 1.
I would say, story wise, yes. However, I've played one more times. I've been through one.
Don't do this to me, Mick. You always do it. You did it with Skyrim, and I've got that reinstalled.
So yeah,
To be
it's a
fair, I've
real,
actually also got it installed again.
yeah, it's a really hard one. I think if I had to choose, as much as I'd played and loved one, I'd probably go with two, just because the story
Right answer.
was just
That's the
was
right
so
answer.
good. But I do really love the first one, even though
Oh,
mechanically it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It was great, and especially at the time when it
was.
came out, it was
Yeah.
it was nothing else to compare it to. So, yeah, no, I do love them. But Starfield is definitely going to be. It's going to give me those vibes of Mass Effect meets Skyrim. That just sounds too good to be true. So the only way that game can get any better is if the ship creation, which we know it's got, if I can make a Starbug from Red Dwarf, then it's an 11 out of 10 that game. For me, because if I can make something that looks remotely like a Starbug,
I'm
then
just gonna make the
I'm over.
Millennium Falcon just
I'm over.
because why
Yeah, the
not?
Falcon's a good one. Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna make
Falcon
the
would be a good
Mandalorian
one.
ship.
But yeah, I want a Starbug, Red Dwarf, Boys of the Dwarf. So yeah, no,
That's the thing. It's the thing about that Starfield that I think it's got people even more excited is the fact that they've got this kind of building mechanic to be able to create your own ship.
Yep.
Like that just adds a whole nother layer to the game that's gonna get the modding community and fans just so in depth. Like I can just imagine now how many hours people are gonna spend creating these ships.
And there's base creating as well. So you've got your own base. You can pick a. I think
That's where a lot of my
together-
hours go in Fallout 4. I'm like building.
Exactly.
Building
So
my
I
base.
think if you can choose any planet you want out of the 1,000 and just build a base on it, it's going to be a lot of hours gone just messing around with that.
I think what someone else pointed out as well is what, and people have mentioned, of course, 1,000 planets. Not all of them are going to be habitable, as in you're going to be able to go for kind of a lot of it, or go to the entire planet. Some of them will just have certain sections on and things like that. But one thing it does provide is infinite avenues for DLC and expansions and story expansions and quests. It literally
The
gives the
modding
Bethesda
community.
team, with that many planets, the ability to essentially create as many kind of little side stories or adventures as they want to. And then when you bring in the modding community into that, which of course all Bethesda titles have, it's just going to it is literally, it's going to be like a single player MMO. It's going to be one of these giant worlds that just keeps evolving, and with the addition of all of the kind of assistance from the modding community and all these different quests that people will be adding in and things like that, it's just going to be such a
See, the
big
thing
game
is,
that you're going to be able to
people-
play
That's
for
another reason why Mass
ages.
Effect 1 was great, because
Yeah.
I was one of the people that drove around on in the Mako searching for minerals on the planets. And if you remember that game, there wasn't a lot going on those planets, and obviously they're probably going to be a lot more playable, be much bigger in Starfield. But there was just a lot of driving around looking for minerals to mine and then sell off to to get credits for. I
Yeah.
loved all that. I did every planet and mined all of the resources and bought all of the upgrades. So yeah, and there's no one says you have to go and do that. You know
Yep.
full well there'll be an achievement for maybe visiting 50 planets,
Yeah.
and you could probably just fly to one, touch down, get back in the ship, take off again, go to the next one.
Yeah.
If you want the achievement, you can probably just fly to 50 planets, one after the other. Achievement pops, you're done. If you're that bothered about it,
Yeah.
but they're not going to make you do fly to 1,000. They're just not going to. They're not going to do that. It's just too far fetched. So
Yeah.
It's a
I'll
little
eat my
bit too
words.
much.
If they do that, then I do agree that that's a bad achievement. That's a bad achievement.
See, I wouldn't be
But
surprised though if some smart person mods co-op into it, because they did it with Skyrim on PC.
yeah.
You can download a mod called Skyrim with friends, and that's like a 4-player
Fallout's got it
co-op.
as well, hasn't it?
Probably, I wouldn't be
Yeah, I
surprised.
think it has. Yeah, I think there's a Fallout 4 co-op mode on mods.
That's mad.
Okay.
That's mad. But yes, so hyper excited. What the additional rumors we've had with it as well is, and from number of sources, we know and kind of highly respected creators such as ACG. We've heard it from the likes of Colt. We've heard it from other sources as well. That the kind of what they've been hearing is that the release date is kind of June, middle of June, roughly, for Starfield. And I think me and Boxy on your show as well last week, we both kind of anticipated it would probably, if it does fall anywhere, it's going to be that beginning, kind of middle to tail end of June. And that was before these rumors came out.
I said, I thought about March actually.
Yeah.
If you remember, I was for a long time. I thought Starfield is gonna come out in June, like this E3 shadow drop thing. But then hearing that Redfall got apparently pushed to May, it made me think. It made me think. Where could Starfield land? And there are multiple reasons why a March release actually would kind of make sense. If you think about what could Microsoft do, they could bring like a Redfall, Starfield, Forza, and Minecraft all in May and June. But that's not gonna happen. It's too crowded. Are they gonna move those games into the second half? Potentially, yes. But are they gonna move a Starfield? I don't think so anymore. And the reason is actually simply credibility. If they move a Starfield in the second half, they will never ever be able to use that 12-month thing at E3 because nobody will believe them. And the shitstorm is gonna be big. If they're gonna bring out Starfield in, let's say, assume March, and then they move like a Forza to the second half. That's a whole different deal. No one will complain. But that Starfield thing, they need to bring that out. And they need to bring it out before they delay any of the other games into the second half. So that's one of the reasons why an earlier release in the year would actually make sense. Also, Starfield is the only game out of all of them that actually had a release date. Redfall didn't have one, Forza didn't have one, Minecraft didn't have one. No other they had a release date. So Todd Howard was probably super confident. Hey, I'm gonna hit November. I'm gonna hit November 22. And then obviously the bug thing, typical Bethesda bug fest, yeah. And Microsoft went in there and said, okay, dude, this time you're not gonna launch Bugfesta game. This time you're gonna release our biggest IP and our biggest launch in probably our history. Honestly, if you think about it, which other Xbox first-party exclusive had the same impact like a Starfield? Which one? It's really hard. If you think about it, maybe a Halo 3. Halo 3 was also a super big launch. But no other game has that impact like a Bethesda game. Simply for the reason because a Bethesda game, a Starfield, and all the previous Bethesda RPGs have always been multiplayer. They have been on PC. They have been on the other consoles. On the Switch, you can play Skyrim on the Switch, yeah? And of course, PlayStation. And now this is an Xbox exclusive. Yeah, Starfield, Xbox. So this is the biggest launch Xbox has had probably ever, close to, let's say, a Halo 3. And that's it. So they don't want that Bethesda launch. But how many months do you need to polish out like the typical Bethesda bugs? Do you need, if you bring it out in June, that would have given Todd Howard 8 extra months to rubber out some of the bugs.
And that's what we were hearing, right? It was the game was complete. They were just squashing bugs.
Squashing bugs. So and then and now you put it in March. That still would have given Todd Howard like another 5 months to get rid of the bugs. So if that's the thing, I'm saying if that was the reason, simply to iron out the typical Bethesda bugs, I think 5 months is also a realistic window. Again, it was the only game where they were confident enough to give an actual release date. No other game had that.
It does make me think though that like them to delay it and not give it the second release date, or like confirming the second release date. How big were some of these bugs?
That's a good question.
Don't usually take this long, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah. Like 5 months for bug fixing can do a lot. Because if you think about it, typically the games, when they come out, think about a Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk came out and we all know how it went. And when you look at Cyberpunk 5 months after launch, they already had their first big patch coming in. It wasn't the next gen patch, but it was the big bug fixing patch. It ran after 5 months out there in the field. Yeah, it ran very well. Yeah. So like 5 months is a lot for bug fixing, especially if you're not having the pressure of public like public shitstorms and stuff. So that's another thing. And then think about the rest of 23. What other games come out? Which game that Xbox has can go up against all the third-party releases that come out in February and March, like a Hogwarts, like a Resident Evil, like a Jedi Survivor, yeah, like these big AAA blockbusters. Which other is a Redfall gonna compete against a Hogwarts or a Jedi Fallen Order? Not even close. Not even close. Sorry, is Forza gonna compete?
Skyrim is a game that does compete with those.
Exactly. That's the
titles.
Starfield is the only game that can take on a Hogwarts and a Jedi Fallen Order and a Zelda, even a Zelda. Yeah. And so if you think about all these kind of things, it would simply make a lot of sense for Microsoft to strategically place that game in March, because they cannot release any of their other first-party games in March, simply for the fact of competition. Yeah,
I fully agree with that.
so yeah, all that being said, it makes a lot of sense to put a Starfield in there. It would also send the right message to the community. Listen, yes, people are excited for Forza. I get that. And it will report like record players simply because everyone who has Game Pass will simply install the game and give it a chance. But is a Forza like that big banger that everyone is waiting for?
No.
Or is that Starfield? Is it Redfall, that big banger that everyone is waiting for? People are gonna love it. I have no doubt that Redfall is gonna be a great game. Don't get me wrong, but it has not the same push like a Starfield. Starfield is the only system seller. Forza is not gonna sell systems. Redfall is not gonna sell systems. It's gonna be an awesome experience for those that have already subscribed to Game Pass. But Starfield is the one that pulls in new players, and you need to push it out. So if you can bring Starfield out in March, you can do for the rest of the year more or less whatever you want. You can move a Forza into holiday. No one will complain. But if you bring out a Forza in March and you move Starfield to October or November 23, oh,
then
that's
we're gonna have a problem.
That is gonna be bad. And I see Sentinel in the chat. I'm not dissing Forza. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. It's not a diss against Redfall or Forza. Those games are gonna be awesome. They're gonna be big, but they are not. They do not have the same push. Forza is quote unquote just a racing game. It's not a system seller. Like the same way like Gran Turismo is not a system seller for PlayStation. Yeah,
It's not just the fact that it's a racing game. It's the fact that it's a more simulative racing game, and there's a lot of people that play racing games are not really into that. They just want the arcade experience, like Horizon.
Forza Horizon
out of the two, Horizon is my jam because I can just play it. I ain't got to worry about simulation and stuff like that.
And Forza Horizon is the only racing game I can think of, honestly, that has the potential to become such a system seller. But then again, people have like choices of racing games. It's kind of like in the shooter genre. Like I feel it's really hard to bring out a first-person shooter that really is a system seller. Call of Duty might be the only one if you make it like an exclusive. Yeah. This is probably the only, because there are simply tons of first-party shooters out there. There are tons of third-party shooters out there. People have so many choices in shooters. So that's and it's similar with racing games. And a Redfall is an Arcane game, and I love Arcane. I truly do, but their games do not have the same pull like a Starfield does.
It's also a new IP as well, and people are a little bit more wary.
Yeah, no one knows Redfall. What's Redfall? What is Redfall? Oh, it's a new game from the makers of Dishonored. What's Dishonored?
Redfall is the type of game
like technically Starfield's a new IP as well, though.
Yeah,
but
you can,
in terms of like Bethesda, it's got the weight of like we
new
made
game
Skyrim,
from
we made Fallout.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah, I get
a big weight behind it. We sort of know what to expect because it's a big RPG.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, I know that this also puts kind of pressure on Bethesda. They have the flagship title for Xbox right now. Yeah, this is and that's a lot of pressure. So that you could use that, of course, against my first argument of like 5 months is enough to fix all the Bethesda bugs, and you might want to give them 6, 7, 8 months. But it would just make strategically a lot of sense to put a a Starfield as early as possible into the year. You set the tone. Guys, it's going to be an awesome year. You have Starfield now in March, early March. It's like tomorrow. That's like tomorrow. Yeah. And then for the rest of the year, you already know that a lot of good stuff is coming. You're going to be playing Minecraft. You're going to be playing Redfall and Forza. And then
Hopefully Hellblade.
and then we have like E3 coming, and you will learn about a lot more to play. Like, that's the push. If you bring out in February or March, here's Minecraft. Oh, and by the way, we still don't know where to put Starfield. I don't know if that's the right move, especially since Xbox has to get rid of the narrative they have no games. So yeah, that's just my.
They better have some games this year. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, but the public reception is different before the games are not here, or at least you have like real hard dates on them. So, yeah, I think it would make sense to put a Starfield in March, and I know that my opinion has shifted on this because you're absolutely right, Dutch. When we talked about this last year on the World of Gaming, I was like, okay, the Starfield is going to be that E3 game, yeah, that they launch around E3. But given all that has happened over the last 2-3 weeks, I think a March release would absolutely make sense. Yeah.
So do you think, saying that then, because another rumor,
Your
and
mic
this is
sounds a bit
Sound like a bit
iffy.
distant
Has
now.
it switched
Mine
over to your
does.
webcam? Because I think did you unplug
Yeah.
your mic and plug it back in?
yeah,
Yeah, I think it
Sound a
switched
bit
over to
distant.
your webcam.
right, 2 seconds.
Hmm.
Yes. And there we go. Better.
Hey, there it is.
Oh,
yeah,
a
that's
much
much
better
better.
voice. A much better
Terrific.
voice.
Right. Yes. We also had the other rumor, and again, same sources, the likes of ACG, etc., who've also been hearing the same thing. Redfall's release date is May, or at least looking around May. So we had a heavy rumor going for Starfield for June, Redfall for May, which would leave the Forza as maybe a February, March, April time. So, and of course, with the release of Age on consoles in the tail end of January, that would leave them maybe February without a release. But then you've also got to remember they've got the likes of Atomic Heart, they've got the likes of Flintlock Siege of Dawn, and a whole host of other third-party timed exclusives going onto the service as well. Stalker 2 is still kind of scheduled for some part in the first half of the year, although I doubt that currently. I know it will be 2023, but I doubt it will be the first half. Personally, if they manage to get out in 23, I think that's their only concern. But it's still scheduled for first half. So there is a lot of awesome games coming out. If they do, of course, you start off the tail end of this month with Age 2 on consoles for the first time.
Nice.
February, of course, you've got, I think Atomic Heart is February. Or is it March? I'm not sure. February, March, Atomic Heart.
February, I think.
I think it's February.
February.
Yeah. Then you've got Flintlock Siege of Dawn coming at some point in the next couple of months as well. That could be a March, April game. So there's another third party. And then you've got your big first party games. So your Forza, your Redfall, your Starfield, all scheduled by June. So likely kind of April, then May, or March, April, or March, May, June possible releases. We know, I think Starfield, personally, I think, and I agree, Forza is going to get a lot of players. It's going to be one of those games that gets a very high critical score. The Forzas historically, for a long time, whether it be Horizon or Motorsport, have always critically done very well. So it's going to win a boatload of awards best simulator, best racing game, best technical. It's going to get a lot of awesome awards for what it achieves and what it does. It's going to be a great simulator. Everyone's going to play it because everyone wants to see the power of the Series X in full flow. And as a showcase game, Forza is definitely a game that's going to showcase what that console is all about. And this is the first time we're going to see an Xbox title with real-time ray tracing on there in 60 frames with 4K. All the bells and whistles. This is the first time any of the developers is going to release a game that has everything that was promised when we got into this generation. So it's definitely going to be a visual feast for the eyes. And of course,
I've always said Forza is going to be that game if you bring home a buddy and want to show off what the new consoles can actually do. Yeah, so you bring home a casual and you just wanna impress them what is technically possible these days with video games. That's when you put on Forza.
I
Yeah,
remember
completely
when
agree.
Forza. I remember when Forza, I think it was 5 or 6 came out, and I remember I grew up with my dad, you know, playing. He used to remember me playing games on things like the Commodore, and he hasn't seen anything computer game wise pretty much since those days. And I just went, watch this, and I turned it on, and one of the cars that he used to always have and restore was an MGB, and I put it on, and I'd already preloaded the car up, so it was on the menu as soon as I turned it on. Put it on, and this MGB Roadster came up on the game, all just rotating round, and then you could press the button to open all the doors and all the rest of it. And he looked at it and went, "Fucking hell, games have come along a bit, haven't they?" And I was like, "Just a bit, yeah."
Exactly. Completely agree. And it's going to be one of those showcase games that showcases exactly what the console can do and what it's capable of. Most people aren't that fussed about Racer, and it's fine. There's not going to be many people that do, and Boxy's absolutely right. There is going to be a dedicated crowd that will play in that game to death. We know Erwin will. When that game comes out, Erwin will be on Forza non-stop.
They will definitely report record numbers.
Yeah,
they will. I have no doubt that they will report record numbers because, like everyone here on the panel and in the chat, and everyone who has Game Pass will download it and just give it a try. But so they will report, like, I don't know, 15 million players in the first 4 weeks or something like that. Definitely gonna happen. It still does not mean that it has the same push.
Oh, completely agree. It doesn't. It's one of them games, like you say, that you can showcase to people. It's gonna look pretty. Everyone's gonna go on it for at least like 10 hours at minimum each, and they're gonna drive around and they go, "God, this game's beautiful. God, look at this. Look at the crash damage and look at all this stuff and all the weather effects and the tracks." Everyone's gonna be blown away by it for at least 10 hours each. And then they're going to put that game down. They're going to pick up Hogwarts. They're going to pick up Jedi Survivor. They're going to pick up any other game again, and they're going to play it through something else because that's what. And this is what I do I love Forza, but it's exactly what I do with any racing game. I don't just play it non-stop. I can't. Like I'll play it for a couple of races, turn it off, put something else on. Yeah, and that's exactly what a Forza does.
Like Flight Sim, you put it on, you play it. Fly around for a bit, you look at everything, look at the world, look at the planes, and then you put it down again.
Absolutely.
And there will be those group of people, like you say, that are just, I will put probably a lot of hours into. I do like the simulator side of Forza just as much as the Horizon one. I like them equally. I quite like the way that we used to get one and then the other. It was nice to go from the simulator and then look forward to the arcade one again when that came out. And switch back over, and then we had 2 Horizons, one back to back. By this point now, I'm looking forward to the simulator bit because it's been a while.
Yeah,
but I know full well that once I've played it for quite some time, I'll be like, I'm looking forward to Horizon 6 now.
You'll be like, back to Starfield.
You know what it is? The thing that I'm looking forward most about Horizon 6 though is is the fact that we know the next Horizon, when that lands, is going to be current gen only. It's not going to be, and as much as like this one is beautiful and highly impressive, and the world is amazing, and the weather and all the different effects that they've got in there, and the dust storms, and what they've managed to achieve with the previous gen consoles for Forza Horizon 5 is just phenomenal. Like how they managed to get it looking as good as it did on the original VCR Xbox is just nothing short of a miracle. But I'm also looking forward to seeing what they managed to pull off with that Forza Tech engine for a Horizon game on just current gen. Like, just as much as we are Forza Motorsport 8, because, well, and it is 8, like Forza Motorsport, the reboot, because they've intentionally dragged out its development for the first time in its history in order to completely revamp the game and do something special with it. And essentially build it from the ground up to be much more of that simulator fan's dream. Add all these simulating damages, add the tire wear where you can see it, add the real crash damage and things like that. So Forza's going to be phenomenal. It is going to be phenomenal. But I also agree with Boxy where it's going to be one of those games that you put on every now and again, but it's going to get record numbers. It's going to get massive critical acclaim. People are going to love it. It's going to get huge and great fan feedback from everybody who plays it. I don't think anyone's going to dislike the game, put it that way. But at the end of the day, we're all going to put that game down and we're going to jump on any other action, open world game, shooter that's out, and we're going to play that to death. And we're going to jump back on Forza for a race or two, and then we're going to go back to the other games that we're playing, because that's what we do. It isn't a system seller by any means, but it is a showcase piece.
It's more of a niche game in comparison to something like a Bethesda RPG.
Whereas Redfall, for me, I think Redfall's a bit different. I'm looking forward to seeing what that game is, and I have a feeling that game can surprise. I think it's definitely got the ability to surprise a lot of people. It could be a sleeper hit. Much like...
I have no doubt that it's gonna be fantastic, man.
Yeah.
It's this mixture in between Left 4 Dead and Borderlands. So you can play it co-op, you can play it solo. You have like the loot and the semi-open world with open areas and everything. You have side quests, you have like an interesting story, and then you have your arcane. You have your arcane specialty in there. Like, if you has anyone played like Prey or Dishonored? So if you look at
about half
yeah,
Prey, I think.
so if
Prey
you-
was
if you- if
brilliant.
you played
Prey
Prey-
was
yeah.
really good.
If you played Prey, like, that's not your standard single player shooter. It's just not. It's always they have something unique. Dishonored is not your typical stealth game. It's always something unique. Yeah, so this very uniqueness of an arcane game in a Borderlands vampire game. Come on, it has a lot of potential, and I have no doubt that it's gonna be an awesome game. But it's gonna hard to sell.
Yeah,
consoles
I
on that,
agree. I
or
agree. It's not.
Game
It's
Pass
not.
subscriptions on that.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not a system seller because, again, as you mentioned, people don't know. Like the regulars, the casuals, they don't know how good a developer Arcane is. They don't know Arcane. They know Activision. They know EA. They know like casuals know
Yeah, the
them, so
standard
that's system
ones.
sellers.
Yeah.
They know Bethesda. They know Skyrim. They know Witcher. Like those are. If Witcher was ever exclusive to any platform, Witcher is a system seller. Like, you mention Witcher, and people know what Witcher is. Any casual gamer knows Witcher. Again, same thing with Skyrim. If you mention Skyrim, the vast majority of people who've ever picked up a console know what Skyrim is because it's been out that long and it's sold that many different versions. Toaster version, Apple Watch version, the the fridge freezer version of Skyrim. I think everyone's...
And just like having that tagged onto the game from the creators of Skyrim is enough weight to make that game be highly what's the word I'm looking for? Demanding. People
Yeah,
really
highly
wanna
sought
play it.
after. Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. I think for me, like I say, Redfall's going to be one of those sleeper hits. It's a game that isn't a system seller. For people like us who follow gaming, it's one of those where we're anticipating it and we're looking forward to it. But for those outside of the gaming, the casuals, the super casuals, they probably, the vast majority, don't really know about it. They probably still don't even know it's coming out. Even if you mention it, will be if you say
Redfall is one of them games that if it does really well, it'll be word of mouth that makes it popular. Like when Dead Island came out, that game got popular because of word of mouth.
yeah,
That game got popular because it came out in the summer when there was no other games. That's why that game got popular, because there was no other games, and everyone went and bought it. Went, this game's good. Let's go get some more copies and get it played, because there was
As much as I joke and I kind of like take the mick out of the second one that has been in development for a very long time, 8 years. I'm really looking forward to Dead Island 2, and I can't wait for that to come out. As much as I take jabs at it and make fun of it for being long in development, I'm really looking forward to it.
Quick shout out! I watched today Ains from Season Gaming. I watched his video about what we know about it so far, and he gives a brief history of everything that's happened and all the developers and stuff. But he actually goes into a bit of depth about what's happening and some of the stuff they've confirmed and stuff. Some of the stuff I didn't even know, and I sat there and thought, oh, I kind of told myself I'll wait, and I'm gonna buy, because I know Chris won't be able to buy it. So for me, mate, so I'm like, I'll wait until it's on a sale, then I'll buy 2 copies. But now I've watched that, I'm thinking there better be some good stuff out around that point. Otherwise, I'm gonna cave.
They delayed it by like a month. Was it a month? I think it was a month. Or was it 2
it was
months?
only a couple of months. I think it was about a month. I think. Yeah.
Hopefully that month don't turn to 8 years.
but yeah,
I'll take that game for now.
I was going to say ultimately though, we can all agree we're all looking forward to Redfall on this panel. We're looking forward to Forza on the panel. Those 2 games aren't system sellers. Forza, I would say Forza is ish to a degree, but not like something that's going to really hit the needle. It will sell games to those sim racing fans that want to play Forza, because we know Forza Motorsport is current gen only. So those who want to play Forza in its best light have to have a series console or a PC. You can cloud play it, but it's not going to be. You're not going to want to experience that game on cloud.
You won't cloud play a simulator game.
You want to play that native on an Xbox Series X with a really good TV, or on a PC with a really good monitor and a great graphics card as well.
The only time you'll cloud play that game is if you just happen to be on your break. You've got half an hour to kill when you're at work, and you really don't care. You just want to have a drive round. You're not going to put any serious time into a simulator game on a cloud because of the lag, because of even the smallest amount of lag just ruins every corner that you try and take.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah. And also I think that Forza Motorsport is a game that you need to play with a steering wheel and not with a controller. I experienced it myself at Forza Urban's house. So
Forza sim racing setup with his Fanatec.
yes, it's crazy. I've drove some Formula One games with him. Of course, also the Forza Motorsport 5, I think back then. Played it with the steering wheel, the Fanatec. It's amazing. And then going back to a controller is way different. So yeah, Motorsport is really a game to play with a steering wheel.
Yeah,
I'd have to knock the wall through and make this room bigger to fit a bloody driving setup in it. So it's just
exactly the same here. Exactly the same here. I just have to completely just remove this chair entirely from the room and just replace it with a sim chair.
Yeah.
But no, it's but yeah, ultimately Starfield is that system seller. So the rumored June date, it does make a lot of sense. Dropping it around E3, I think that would give ultimate hype around the E3 period as well.
Yeah, but you know what other games come out around E3? Now let's have a brief look here at what has already been confirmed. Yeah, Diablo 4, June 6th. That's like 2 days before the E3 conference. we have Street Fighter 6 coming in June 2nd, and we have Final Fantasy 16 coming on June 22nd. We also have on May 26th, so 4 days before June starts, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. So do you want to put your biggest system seller that you have right up against those games, especially Diablo 4, which probably in the strategic way of thinking from Microsoft is gonna be a first party game by the time it comes out. They want to have that deal closed. Yeah. And it probably will be closed. There will be like maybe a court trial against the FTC, but the deal will be done by then. So do you put your Starfield up against a Diablo 2 days apart? Are you doing
When's
this?
Diablo out?
6th June 6th. Yeah.
Is that in Game Pass day and date?
If they
Not yet.
If they already own a Activision Blizzard by then, it most certainly will.
I'm not convinced it will. I'm not sure whether that's in a
Nah,
contract
it wouldn't.
already. Yeah, I think it would have to already
the
be
contract.
in a contract.
No.
I don't
It's
think they
the
could add
contract
it
has
afterwards.
no. The contract has nothing to do with this, because the contract it will still come out on PlayStation. Don't get me wrong. That's a contract they will honor, but they don't have any publishing things that would hinder them from bringing it to Game Pass. If they own Activision,
They don't.
they
but
will.
Sony might.
No. Not
But
gonna
we know
happen.
Sony
It's
have
already
put
been
clauses
Diablo.
Sony does
that
not
they're
even have the
allowed.
marketing with the game.
No, I was going to
Sony
say
does not even-
Diablo's already been on the Xbox Showcase last year, so they've already got
It's
the
not
marketing
gonna
down for that.
happen. So if they own it, it will drop day and date in Game Pass. No doubt about this. Absolutely zero doubt. The question is, will they
what I
own
will
it by then?
say,
But even if they don't own it, like put it, you literally, if you put it, let's say Starfield comes out June 8th, which would be like the day of the Xbox conference or whatnot. Yeah. Like
No
you
one would watch
put
the
it up-
conference.
There's
No one
no
would watch the
way-
conference.
there's no way that Microsoft would shadow drop Starfield. They want pre-orders for that.
Oh, they announce it up front, and what they would probably do is like they would release it 3 or 4 days after E3, so that they get like all the hands-on impressions from the influencers
know
and
about that.
and the people visiting
They're going
there.
to want some time to advertise Starfield.
Yeah, they
Starfield
will.
is not the
They
type
will
of game
announce.
you
They
just
will announce the date in
advertise 4 days
January.
before launch.
Yeah, I was going to say they'll probably announce Starfield's date in January.
Yeah,
If
they
that
announced that
conference
for
is
like
legit.
June 10th, and then everyone knows, okay, it comes out like 5 days after E3 or something like that. They could do that. But then they would put it up against a Final Fantasy 16, up against a Diablo 4, up
Yeah, but
against a
if you think
Suicide
about
Squad.
this, look what they did with Halo Infinite. It was only a few days after Forza Horizon came out, they released the multiplayer. They don't care about putting things in front of their own games or
Yeah,
after their own games.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. I
It
agree
doesn't make
that
sense.
did-
I
it
didn't
did
a lot
expect
of
Halo
things
to come out then, but they
Ken,
still did it.
It's Xbox. I know a lot of things does not make sense. After all, yeah, I agree, and I get your way of thinking. I get it. I'm just saying it would make more sense to put it out in March than in June.
It would. I fully get that, but we're talking about Microsoft, and
I was going to say you're using Boxy. You're using common sense.
you're using logic.
Knocking on the head right
I'm
now.
sorry. I'm sorry. You're right.
Warned in the
I'm
past.
using common sense, and we're dealing with Xbox. That's
Take
unfortunately
that
so
idea
true.
and put it in a box and leave the common sense away from the table.
So now the thing is,
So you're telling me that my theory of the screw up team is actually true, because I have this theory. Like Xbox has this amazing plan for whatever console launch, Xbox Series X. We have a fantastic console and everyone's liking it. Yeah, we have like the power narrative, we have the games narrative, we have everything. And then they sit there in the boardroom and then, guys, we can't have success. We need our screw up team. And then they bring up a team.
And then
How
what they
can
do-
we
no,
screw
no,
up the launch?
What they do is they go, quick, who's got Phil Harrison's number?
So yeah, like this, yeah. And then you bring in
Put
like
them
a
on
task
paper.
force.
How
Okay,
can we mess
guys,
this
how
up?
can we mess this up? How Oh, I have an idea. We launched a console without any games. Fantastic idea. You get a raise. Okay, what's your idea? We're not gonna show any gameplay until the day before the console comes out. Fantastic idea. And then what else can we do? Like 8 months without a single game. Guys, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. I
Breaking
think
records in all the wrong ways.
Early finish. You can all go home.
Yeah, so no, I'm kidding, of course, but sometimes it feels like this. I honestly, like with Xbox, so you guys are right. Common sense would be to not put Starfield out in June, but earlier. But yeah,
I've had a theory that Starfield will come out in April. Announce it in the end of June, end of January.
April is
and put it out
also
the end of
possible.
April.
Let's have a look. What comes out in April?
My
not a lot
personal
else happening.
opinion on Starfield is it doesn't matter where they put it in the next 6 months, it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's the type of game other games get out of the way of.
Yeah, but you
Yeah, I
don't wanna,
agree.
you don't wanna screw things up with your other partners. Like Hogwarts, they can put it up against the Hogwarts because they don't have like any marketing rights for that whatsoever. They could put it up again against a Jedi Survivor, maybe, because with EA they have a lot closer relationship because EA part of Gamepass, yeah.
I
So,
don't think they really care too much about stepping on EA's toes. EA are the type of people that step on their own
Yeah.
toes. I mean, look at
That's the
deal
thing.
with
Why I said
Titanfall they had, and
maybe
they put
maybe a little, so they
different
could
game out
bring it.
at different times.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, those are games they could bring it up against. Hogwarts, Sony is marketing Hogwarts like it's an exclusive, so you could bring it out against that. But then we go to April. What else do? Dead Island, yeah, but Dead Island is against a Starfield. Really, no
exactly.
reason.
No
So
reason.
April is an empty month. It could be, and then we get to May and June. I already mentioned June, but May also has Zelda. It has Suicide Squad. Like, it's tough. It is tough. Yeah.
Zelda though is an exclusive to Nintendo.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it will still have a lot of mind share.
Yeah, Zelda's humongous. Zelda, it does numbers.
I'm a big fan of Zelda.
Zelda
I
is the
can't
type of game
see-
that won't get out of the way of Starfield.
Nope.
No.
Zelda will just drop when it wants. It's like,
But
Buy
that's the
me.
They'll
thing.
just be like,
If you
"We're
put
still here, by the way.
you
We're Zelda."
need to think of this. You need to think of this differently. You have a review, the reviewer, yeah, and you give him a copy of Zelda and Starfield at the same time in their hands. You know which game is gonna get the narrative. It's just Zelda is like this thing. It can't do any wrong. Like,
yeah,
it's
I agree.
crazy.
Yep,
I
rabid
can't
Nintendo
really
fans.
explain why,
You know-
but it is like this. And you don't want to put it like this because then, like,
Nintendo
everyone
fans,
says
that's why.
Starfield is awesome, but Zelda is still the better game. Yeah, and you don't want to have that narrative. You want to have like, oh, look, Starfield, it's mopping the floor with the Dead Island 2 in April. Yeah.
You know, the one thing I'll be disappointed about though with Starfield is if they,
Mm.
and this sounds such a strange thing to say, if all of this time that they've been given to get rid of bugs has actually managed to get rid of the bugs, I will be disappointed because I love the Bethesda bugs.
I've got
Oh,
a
there will
clip.
still be bugs. There will still be bugs.
I've got a clip from Skyrim the other day. Do you remember that advert with the horse that moonwalked backwards across the beach? Do you remember that advert? I
Yeah.
can't think what the song is, but I need to find it because I was in Skyrim the other day and there was somebody going backwards on a horse. And all I could think of was that advert with the moonwalking horse on the pony on that advert, and I thought I've got to find that music and clip it onto that and post it. So I'm gonna have to do that. You've just reminded me. But yeah, some of the bugs on Skyrim, Oblivion, all those games. If you took them out, I'd be really, really sad. 'Cause
I ultimately, I would be really, really sad if there was no Bethesda bugs in Bethesda games. Like you have to, and the thing is like I remember at one point I'm sure they removed a bug, and people were that disappointed they put the bug back in.
Put it back in.
Yeah, they were like, no, we understand people actually really enjoyed this one because it was just
It's not a
daft.
bug,
It
it's a
did no
feature.
harm.
It's a feature.
Yeah,
Now
it
you're
was like
talking Rare's language.
it did no harm to the game or the gameplay. It wasn't breaking anything, and people just missed the silliness of it, so they just put it back in. They were just like, okay, we've just patched the bug back in because we realized it wasn't something that was breaking anything. It was just silly. So have it back.
I love the wackiness of the Bethesda games as well, where an NPC will get up and just walk through chairs and take all the chairs with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm hoping for from Starfield.
It's when you walk into a room, into your house on Skyrim, and you get hit in the face with a piece of bread, and it actually does you damage, and you're like, "What was that?" And then you look down, there's a piece of bread rolling around on the floor, and something on the table just erupted and shot everything across the room, and suddenly you took damage.
You see, if Bethesda was smart, they would have an option to be able to turn the bugs on, and that would make loads of people play there just for the
Bug
lulz.
mode.
I once, because there's been many occasions on Bethesda games as well where you go into a room for the first time and a character will just like morph through the walls out of nowhere. It's like just an NPC, just hello there. You're like, okay, where the hell have you come from?
Why so serious in the chat has just put we need a Skyrim character floating in space in Starfield from where one of the giants knocked him into space.
I remember the first time that happened. I remember the first time that happened.
That bug is still in the
Boom.
game. I'm not even joking. That bug is still in the game. It happened to me when I was playing it again earlier last year.
When I was playing the game the other week, I saw the first giant and I was like, nope, run. I'll fight anything, dragons.
That's me in the first like 10 hours of playing that game. I'm like, nope, I'm staying away from you. Or if I get to them, I'm like, I've got hundreds of arrows and I'm standing in a place they can't reach me, and I'm just hitting them with arrows for like half hour.
I love that is so why so serious though. If there's like a dragonborn floating around in space on one of the on one of them, that would be such an awesome Easter egg in the game.
But yeah, ultimately,
make it happen.
Ultimately, I
Shit
just
in space, and then all of a sudden a skeleton just like lands on the windscreen with the
skeleton with a dragonborn helmet just sort of sticks onto the screen and just slowly drags off.
You activate your window wipers to knock it off.
ultimately, I want it to be as smooth as possible. I do want, like people have said, we want a 60 frames version or performance mode of the game. But ultimately, I still want the occasional bug. I do want that Bethesda bug.
If they were smart, they would market a bug mode for that game. They don't have to bring it out right away, but like, I don't know, a month down the line, like New Game Plus sort of type
Just
deal.
broken game plus.
Bug Game Plus, that's what they could call it. But they could easily market that, and people would go back just to play it with the bugs because it would be fun.
Yeah, it would. It's always a good laugh. It's always a good laugh because it's so unexpected. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And it's just, we don't want a completely perfect Bethesda game. We want a smooth game, but we absolutely need Bethesda bugs.
As long as there's no game breaking.
Yeah.
Keep the wacky stuff.
It's the only time you'll ever see people say that is when they're talking about Bethesda. Like, like every other game we want to be completely flawless with no bugs. But this game, Starfield, we need to have some form of Bethesda bugs in there. Some form. We can't have it smooth.
You just get Tamriel as one of the worlds.
New game bug is a perfect
and all the
idea.
bugs are just in that one planet.
Yeah.
Bethesda can have that idea for me. I'll sell it to them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
New game bugged.
Sir Fanto, DLB instead of DLC. So
yeah.
Downloadable bugs.
Oh dear me. But yeah, so there's an awesome kind of thankfully rumors about those release windows that we're expecting there. But the good news overall is that all of these games very much have their windows set on the first half of the year. So unlike what we were expecting, where they might even push Starfield back a little bit further or something like that, it sounds like that is not the case. They are definitely all hitting this first half of the year, which means, of course, for Xbox fans, whether you're a racing sim fan, whether or not you want to try out Redfall, whether or not you want that Bethesda experience, whether or not you want to play Age on consoles for the first time, or you want to try out one of the awesome third-party games like Atomic Heart or your Stalker or your Flintlock Siege of Dawn or many of the other third-party games. The last case of Benedict Fox, awesome indie games and things like that. You're gonna have an awesome load of games just by June. And of course, I think another rumor, which we can't talk about, which is persistent, and there's no smoke without fire. Another rumor is, of course, that there is going to be a not so much a showcase, but more, should we say, a stream or an XO-ish event without kind of an in-person fans thing from Xbox at some point either this month or the beginning of next. And that's a persistent rumor that doesn't seem to be going away. It seems to be a lot of people.
The interesting part about this is that depending on to whom you listen to, some people, and I mean some of the bigger people, seem to think that this might actually be more like a bigger showcase, like really scope think more E3 than
that's big.
XO event or not XO,
Like an E3
State of
event.
Play. Yeah. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
Get on.
That would and we've said this. I think we said this on your show as well, Boxy. I think the primary benefit of that is it absolutely makes sense to be able to then give those solid release dates for these games that we're talking about, because we have windows. We know they're releasing in the first half, but none of them have a definitive date. So I think having this showcase and saying, right, these are all the games. We know we've spoke about them. We said they were coming in the next 12 months. These are the game, like the release dates for these games. Well, they won't say it in those things, but I think the showcase will be, these are the release dates for these games. And here's some more games coming to Game Pass over the next 6 months as well. And then they'll leave whatever for E3 and the rest of the year at that point as well. You never know, they might even announce another title that we're unaware of. You just never know. And I forgot another game as well, Ark 2. Ark 2.
Bless you.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I think
we all might
think
laugh
that-
about this, but at the end, Arc 2 is actually, I think,
Bless you.
going to be a big deal. It's a massive game. People really liked it. I don't get why, because it is probably the most weird game I've ever played, but it is
Yeah.
a super popular one.
Yeah.
So
But I,
Do you-
I think
do you
that, like
think-
Dutch says,
Yeah.
if it's true that what you say, Boxy, is that it's a bigger event than we think, I think it's a perfect moment for them to announce, like Dutch says, the release dates of those games that we just talked
yeah,
about.
absolutely.
It will be a perfect timing for that. So I hope that what we are speaking about right now, that's coming out. So
See,
Do you
my
think it
hope
would
for
also
this
be a
event
perfect?
is-
I was going to say, do you think it would also be a perfect moment, given the financial constraints that there are in the market, to announce that family plan? Beginning of the year, when people are thinking about money and things, and going, right, okay, we've
Yeah.
got another thing that's going to really benefit people this year, and that's the family plan. So you can get up to 5 people on the plan. It's going to cost, say, $25 a month, and you can have up to 5 people with Xboxes covered with Game Pass for whatever it is on that account. It's family or friends in the same
Yeah.
country as you. I think that would be a massive kind of announcement as well to make, if they can announce that in the showcase. What do people think? Do you think that's a realistic thing that they could show off in this potential showcase?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I
something
think
that we
so.
could see 100%. Yeah, I mean they're already trialing it. Those trials have got to come to an end at some point, right? And they've got to expand those trials. So this would be the perfect place to do that, right? Go global with the trials, so people
Or
get to
cancel it if it
try it.
doesn't work.
I know
do
for a
that,
fact that I'm
cancel.
getting it, because I've got a whole host of friends that have got Xboxes, and they're either barely using them or something like that. And if it's only like 20 something a month or 20 a month, for instance, for a family plan, and we've seen the rumored pricing structure for it, and it was rumored to be around that 20 mark. And if that's the case, that's super cheap. For what I was thinking, especially up to 5 people with, and the only thing I'm dubious about with it is if the family plan is the family plan of Ultimate, or if there's going to be family plan Ultimate, which covers everybody on console and PC and mobile cloud streaming, or is the family plan just Xbox Game Pass console? That's the only dubious thing I've got about it at the minute. Is there going to be 2 versions of it? Is there going to be just a standard Ultimate and standard Game Pass for PC, for console, for everything? And then is there going to be a family plan which just covers console for 5 people, and an Ultimate family plan which covers everything for those 5 people? That's the only thing that
One
I'm...
reason why they're trialing it still is to
Yeah.
figure out that sort of thing, and obviously take questions and answers and give answers from gamers that are trialing it.
Because ultimately, it's associated. What the way family plan works is you log into, essentially you set up the family plan, you purchase the monthly thing, and then you associate email addresses that are belonging to the other Xbox profiles onto that family
That's
plan.
good, yeah. I think that's
so-
a much better way of handling it, because
Yeah.
not many people out there are going to want to give their password and
Exactly.
details to.
So you can say
people.
essentially just assign them, and if you want to take people off the family plan and put somebody else on, you can do that. So if you're ever upset with a friend that you had, that's it. I'm taking away your games. There's no games for you. Sit in the naughty corner. But ultimately, I think the best thing about this is what will the family do to game share? I don't think the family plan will do anything to game share, because of course ultimately you're still going to have a profile that's attached to your console and your plan on the other console as well, so they will also get access to Game Pass. just as a byproduct. So technically 6 if you're game sharing with someone as well. But I think it would be the best time to announce the family plan, just based on where the financial aspect of everybody is at the moment. And that's not just in Europe, but that's internationally as well. It would be unlikely to say that the US, for instance, doesn't have the same financial issues that Europe does, because they do in a different aspect. Europe, we know, energy-wise, is just ridiculous at the minute. The cost of inflation is through the roof. Literally everything is going up and up and up and up and up. And people are struggling with things. And I think having somebody that's going to be able to cover the cost of that, if you've got one friend, or even if everybody can chip in for it, it's going to save them just a small fortune across the year for a family plan.
I've just put a thing in the chat and in our group, in our stream thing, with the actual official details on the Microsoft page about what you can and can't do. It does say that you can share with up to 4 additional accounts. Each member will get their own unique access to all of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate games, content, and benefits, regardless of what device they play on.
Ultimate, did it say?
Ultimate.
Oh, that's even better then.
So that's in the chat if anybody wants to look at it. I've also put it in our group just now here. But all the details are there. It does say, obviously, only available in Colombia and Ireland at the moment. So, but yeah.
I expect there to be an update on that soon, surely. And if there is an event, yes, I expect it to be there. I'd be surprised if it isn't.
Yeah, even if they say, okay, the family plans. I was going to say, even if they say the family plan's coming, this is what it is, this is how much it'll cost, and it's starting in June, or it's starting in April, or something like that. Or like they did with the original rollout, not of Game Pass, but I think of the cloud, where they were kind of saying, okay, well, it's available in the US, UK, and Europe right now. It'll be available in Asia in March. It'll be available in other territories in June. They might just roll it out in stages again as well, just to see how things go.
It also says when it's the current plan is in Colombia and Ireland, it then says planning to roll. It says maybe planning to roll out to more countries in the coming months. So
How many months has that been
in-
in the trial phase over in
that's what I
Ireland
mean.
and Colombia?
That's a good question. It's been a while, actually. Oh yeah.
And it's €21.99.
Oh, that's cheap. Yeah, that is. That's like £20. That's good. I'm happy with that. That's
It's about $18.99, I think.
yeah, cheap.
Be about $20, $18.99 for us.
But yeah, so
Nice.
hopefully, I want to go into speculation station here though. So aside from, and let's get our dream caps on here. If like Boxy was saying, some of these larger should we say sources are right, and it is a bigger showcase that we're expecting. It's not just a little kind of XO stream or anything like that, and it's more akin to an E3 stream. If they're right, aside from the release dates of these major games that are coming out in the first half of the year, what do we hope to see? Even if it's a singular announcement, like a surprise announcement, what are we hoping to see them announce at this showcase, aside from the release dates? Boxy, I'm going to go to you first. Speculation station. Get your wish cap on.
So, yeah, I mean, okay, it's
Age
always
of
a
Empires
question.
5.
Age of Empires 5. There you go.
Age 4
No,
VR.
So, what do I want them to announce? Realistically, if they have something in January, it's gonna be the focus of what's gonna happen until June, before the E3 showcase. I don't think that it would make sense to have like major announcements of new games. What they could do is like, of course, just show all the games that come out in February, March, April, May, and early June. Give the dates, all the dates, and then tease something, like Hellblade 2 logo, see you at E3, or Fable, see you at E3, or something like that. Yeah, I could see them doing this. The one thing that is probably not gonna happen, but is in the realm of the realistic things, is I want them to announce that they have like a state of play show from now on forward every 3 months. I want them to announce that we have like our Xbox quarterly thing, whatever, some weird name for the show, and we have that like every 3 months now, because we have so much in the pipeline that we need more shows. Something like this, that would make me personally super happy. So yeah, realistically, I don't think it's a full-blown E3 show. I think if they have something, and we all agree it would absolutely make sense to have something, I think it's 45 to 60 minutes. It's going to be mainly release dates, which is still like a packed show, because you have like, I don't know, 15 games that come to Game Pass or something that you want to advertise at least. There are more games coming to Game Pass, but like you put all the first party stuff in there. You also put like all the second party deals, and indies, the bigger indies like Benedict Fox and Hollow Knight Silksong, and those games also come in the first, and Flintlock. Yeah, they also come in the first 6 months, and they don't have dates. So it's already a packed show, and then you leave with a little tease. See you at E3 with the Fable logo, and by the way, we're gonna repeat this kind of show like every 3 months now. Bam.
That would be
Even if they
that
just
would be awesome.
even if they just had a thing at the end that just said, once they do one show, we'll see you in May or June for the next one. And at the end of each one, they just said, see you in September, see you in January. Just
Yeah, like
follow it
this.
each time, just so
Yeah,
you knew.
exactly. You know, like the Avowed logo then in at E3 stage. See you in, I don't know,
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
Man, and this is what Xbox really needs to learn. How can you tease the community, get them hyped, get them excited for the next thing? Because if if Xbox wants to have that cadence where they have like a big game every 3 months and some smaller games in between, they kind of need to market that for them. And they need to make these like Nintendo Directs where the entire community is hyped. And Nintendo Direct is typically announced 2 days before it airs. But those 2 days are wild for the community. Like the speculations, what could be shown, what could not be shown. And always that little reminder of, guys, you know that Avowed is coming, you know that it is coming, but here's the logo again. And it just, you do not really announce anything, but you get the community hyped for the next 3 months. They're gonna be excited. Oh, I cannot wait to see Avowed in October. And then exactly, Mike, they need this, they need to learn this. Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
I
Awesome
agree with
stuff.
that.
Patchy, what would be your one last thing announcement? Should we say your just one last thing? What would that be? If all of these release dates are confirmed, we've had an awesome show to let us know what games are definitively coming in the first 6 months. We know all the release dates. We're all super happy. We're excited for these games to come out. But then they just finish it off with that little surprise. What would that be for you?
A new game of Ori and the Blind or something. A new Ori game. That would be awesome.
That's not
Good luck.
gonna
Good luck.
happen. They
Yeah,
said
good luck with that.
they said are not gonna make another one, but they have also said they are working. The team is working on a RPG. Yeah, and we know nothing about this game. Really nothing.
Okay.
The makers of Ori, they should definitely come and show something. I would.
Yeah.
We know they're really good at their jobs, and
appreciate
I mean
it.
it was absolutely the two Ori games, both musically, from an
Yeah.
artistic standpoint, from a Metroidvania standpoint, like
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
phenomenal games, like across the board. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what they can pull off with an RPG. That's
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. I didn't even know that, by the way. That's
That-
news
that-
to me.
Okay.
It's exciting.
I also didn't see or hear anything about that, but it would be cool if they come out with some kind of RPG game. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm just thinking out of the box because I played both of the games. I completed them both as well. I really enjoyed it. Like Dutch says, also music wise, visual wise, it's an amazing game.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
it would be cool if they come out with an Ori game, or like you just now said that they're probably working on an RPG game. So that would be pretty cool as well. But yeah, like I think I agree a little bit with Boxy. Like that they gonna announce that they are gonna show more in this year, uh, with like maybe uh, they're gonna show how games are developed. Like what we also talked before, a few shows before, that they're gonna show more to the community how they work on like some games. It's maybe to get people's interest in that as well.
Yeah, create more
So
hype.
maybe that kind of stuff. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That would be, for me, it would be cool to see that. Like I don't know, everybody has his own thing about that, but yeah, it would be cool.
Most definitely. Most
So, but
definitely.
yeah, like I don't have like really high expectations because I have no idea what kind of show this is gonna be. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be small. So yeah, I have really no idea. But just thinking out of the box.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's a good shout, and it's a good dream announcement there. You never know. You just never know.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, stuff Sean wants to see is his one last thing. Coalition The Mandalorian. I mean, that would be a hell of a surprise.
That would be. That's exactly what the Xbox would need, like a Mandalorian type of game, yeah, like this pop culture game. Xbox does not have pop culture games. They leave that completely to Sony at the moment. So a
Yep, and
Mandalorian
they're missing out.
Yep.
out, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah, I'd agree
absolutely.
with that.
Tom in the chat says every 6 months show could work. Show in the next 12 months, like before, release dates for the next 6 months, and hype what's coming in the next 6, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's essentially like kind of the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, beginning of the year, middle of the year, beginning of the year, middle of the year. Just keep that cycle going. So we've got these little events, and of course, then you've got your games comms, and then you've got your Tokyo game shows, and you've got your E3s, and there's a numerous, like, especially the tail end of the year, you've got your Gamescom and your Tokyo game show. So you've got 2 shows already at the tail end there. So
By
if
the
you've
way,
got
who's going to Gamescom?
I'm thinking about going.
I really want to go. I'm just not sure I'll be able to afford it.
It's a maybe for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford to go just yet.
I know me and Paddy were talking about going after we went to see a Thieves Fest last year, but we're going to see Thieves Fest again this year, and we're staying over for a few days as well. So
Yeah.
whether
It might be a
Gamescom as
good
well as
shout to
thing-
do something like an Airbnb or something if a group of us are going to trim
Yeah,
down on the costs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But yes, Mick, your one last thing announcement. Oh, but wait, there's one more thing. What would that be?
Do you know what? Do you know what I miss from a lot of the shows that we haven't had for a long time? Is just like some of the sort of software and hardware, the OS updates, and not necessarily not let's say hardware. I don't mean like controllers and stuff. I mean just cool, cool stuff that you just don't get anymore. Remember the 360 days? There was always some cool peripheral that you got. Like you remember the wireless steering wheel for the Forza Horizon 2 came out with that, and just all sorts of stuff like that I miss that stuff. We don't get anything that cool anymore. It's just always, is a very expensive thing that you can't fit in your room. Or you don't get anything. It's there's no in between anymore. I would love to be able to fit one of those big, steering wheel things into here, but like I said, I'd have to knock a wall down or extend the house to get it in. It's only small, this room. That's all I've got these
Yeah.
days. But yeah, I would like to, and I used to like sort of seeing the updates for the operating systems and stuff. We'd get like a new dashboard, and there would be new features and interesting things that you could do, and it's just like, it's just the same dashboard now, isn't it? It's always the same dashboard. And we don't even like that because all the tiles are too big and cover up too much of the background and everything else.
See, I wish that they would do dashboards to your own customizability.
Yeah, me too.
Let me scale it to how I want it to look.
Yeah.
It should allow you to do that. I mean, you can essentially do that with Windows to a point. You can drag and drop icons everywhere. You can scale things to however you want.
Got design labs for your controller. Why can't they do something similar with the user interface?
Yeah.
It's something that could work on.
Good.
Something that could certainly work on. Jen, one last thing. Exclusive.
See, it depends on really what the type of show is. I don't know if I could expect this to be this is the next 12 months thing like I did with E3 because they've obviously not reached the end of that 12 months yet. Could it be what's coming in the next 6 months? I'm not sure. Or could this be this is the future of Xbox? We're going to show you what's coming in the next 2, 3, 4 years, and they blow the doors off with trailers and and all sorts, and maybe small snippets of gameplay for specific titles. If it comes down to a one last thing, if it is a big event like that, just show me something, at least a teaser for Gears 6, just to say it's very early, but here's a teaser for that. Or is it too much to ask for Halo ODST 2? Keep asking.
You're gonna die on that hill. You're gonna.
I'll die on that hill. It's the only thing I want from Halo now is ODST 2. Just please give it to me.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. No, that's absolutely awesome. For me specifically, and I'm gonna bring this out. For me, it would most definitely be
Exclusive world premiere.
the release date. The release date as well for Hellblade at the tail end of the year, or maybe even just as Boxy mentioned there, Hellblade 2. See you at E3. Kind of showing a little bit of the, even just like a 5-second clip of like some combat of like fighting or something like that, and then just poof, see you at E3. And then just ending it out there. So at least we know. At least we know. Of course, we had the awesome update from the Ninja Theory guys that they're going to be restarting the kind of updates as well this year to kind of give kind of an update in development cycles and things like that, because we had these awesome vid docs that happened last year and things like that, and they were awesome, and it was a great insight into how they were developing the game, and it gave loads of information as to kind of some of the work they were putting into it, both visually, from a sound perspective, from a combat perspective. And I think they teased a little bit the other day when they put up kind of a little snippet of the mocap work that they were doing, and it was a guy kind of just stomping towards somebody, kind of all in his mocapped outfit with his dots all over him and things like that. They're just saying walking into 2023 like. But I think that's kind of maybe the next vid doc might be around the mocap work and kind of the work they've been doing on mocap and stuff like that, which would be interesting. But I think I think Ninja Theory are possibly going to be doing these vid docs up until release, which would be, to me, be awesome to see that again. And I think Starfield will Bethesda will possibly continue to do their vid docs as well, because they had vid docs as well every other month last year that were kind of talking about the game, all the planets, the factions, the development a little bit, the audio. So I think seeing them getting back into doing that as well on the run up to release for me would be absolutely awesome as well. But yes, and last but not least, we've got Tom. He's saying In Exile's next game would be max hype for me. Awesome, that's a good shout. Seeing what In Exile's working on.
I've got another one that I'd add as well, that stuff Sean commented saying,
yes,
GoldenEye. If they were to just shadow drop GoldenEye, because that's the kind of game you could shadow drop. We know it's ready. Rare were playing it months ago. You know, some of the devs from Rare. So, you know, we know it's not even their
And the
game.
entire achievement list is leaked.
And the entire achievement list leaked, 6 months almost now?
It was before E3 that it leaked, and there was no announcement at E3 when everyone was expecting to see it.
Yes, so we know it's nearly done, if not done. Shadow drop that'd be a great announcement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. Hopefully we learn more about that soon. Over the next week or two, we might hear about that. It was a funny end to last year, and I'm glad it's done now. In terms of gaming, there was a lot of awesome third-party drops at the tail end of last year. Of course, we had High on Life, we had God of War, and things like that, and Midnight Suns for people who enjoyed that, and Gotham Knights, and there was a few awesome little drops at the end of last year that people ended up really enjoying. But from, again, first-party perspective on Xbox's front, terrible. But it's a new year. It's refreshed positivity, and we'll go into this year hopefully knowing that the first 6 months are going to be absolutely rammed. We know it already is anyway from a third-party perspective. There is just games coming out of our ears. I've already got 15 games there on essentially third-party already either pre-ordered or pre-installed for the beginning of this year, including Street Fighter, including Dead Space remake, there's just so many that I've already got pre-installed, and that's not including Redfall or Starfield or Forza or so I've got at least at the beginning or Flintlock, which isn't there to pre-install yet. So I've got at least 20 games by June that I'm interested in, minimum. So that's a big start of the year. So it's already started off very positively. We knew coming into 2023 it was going to be a big year for gaming, on specifically a third party front, but also for Xbox. And it looks like it's going to start off very positively. So fingers crossed for that. We've also had some wacky news though, and I want to talk about the wacky news and rumors because they were quite funny. Speaking of Fable, how we all wished we see Fable. a glorious little rumor popped up the other day that took the Twitter sphere by storm because people decided to retweet it and give it attention. This rumor came from 4chan. This rumor stated that
The most
Fable.
reliable source on the internet.
It is. It's like Fox News.
It's where Xbox era accounts go. Not Xbox era. What's it called? Reset era accounts go to die.
Yep. Essentially, what they said was that the original build for Fable has been scrapped. From the Forza engine, they're going to be redoing the game on Unreal Engine 5, and it will be out by the fourth quarter of 2024. We know that's utter rubbish. Firstly, less than 2 weeks ago, they are still posting job advertisements, specifically stating working on our own proprietary engine. That's, we know, not Unreal. That's not their engine. It's not proprietary either. We know the Forza Tech engine, specifically for Fable, is definitely proprietary. It's been heavily modified in order to get an RPG working on a Forza engine. So we know, first of all, from an engine perspective, that is wildly inaccurate. Secondly, the time frame. There is absolutely no way you are scrapping an entire game in 2022 and rebuilding it from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5 with a release date of fourth quarter 24. Especially a Fable game. That is not happening. It's never happening. That's not, I don't. And how that rumor got started, or why they decided to start that rumor and thought it was something that people would understand, I have no idea. It is wild, and it literally just went round like wildfire, like absolutely wildfire. I don't know how or why it did. We know who shared it. And I'm not going to give him any heat or direct any heat towards him because they share every rumor that comes out, good or bad. And no shade towards him. But those things are unfounded, untrue, and have no base of confirmation. And although people were saying, "Oh, we wouldn't believe if it wasn't going to happen," 3-bit, don't do this. I forgot 3-bit's working on it as well. Yeah, so 3-bit in the chat there is also working on it a little bit. 3-bit, thank you. It's good to know that you're working on it hard, and it should be great. Thank you. So there we go, people.
Would 3-bit, would you like to comment on the rumor?
yeah. 3-bit, would you like
That's
to
a no
post a little comment?
That's
but
going
no,
to be a no comment.
3-bit's.
I don't know that 3-bit working on Fable.
Yeah,
I did not know
3-bit's
that
done
either.
some awesome work.
That's awesome.
I know 3-bit was working with Ubi as well a little while back, so
Yeah, absolutely.
but-
I know that. Yeah.
That's good
So
to hear,
shout out
3-bit.
to him, man.
Good, absolutely
Yeah,
good to hear.
good stuff.
It's awesome. And now I'm ultimately jealous that you're seeing the game and I'm not. So, oh dear me. But yeah, it was a wild rumor. It was a wild rumor.
But it's just stupid to start a rumor like this because um, why would they've been working on this game for such a long time and then just now drop some kind of rumor that they gonna rebuild the whole game on Unreal Engine 5 and release it in 2024 did you say?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That was
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You're
so but
telling me they're
you
gonna
know
get a
like
game out in 1.5 years after
Yeah.
scrapping it? No chance.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is nah, this is it's crazy because you shared it in the private chat and I was like, "Wait, what?" You guys started a whole conversation about it and stuff and I was like, "No, wait, it's unreal if they actually gonna do this." So I didn't believe it at all. It would be crazy if they actually do it, but I don't see it happening. So
Yeah, it's the
it's
turnaround
crazy.
time, and this is I had this mobile app developer. I used to be an indie developer. That's great, but you're not a AAA developer. Like, you're not working at a studio with hundreds of staff trying to get a AAA
Oh,
game cancelled, scrapped, and started from a completely proprietary engine that has no affiliation whatsoever to Unreal Engine, moved into Unreal Engine for some reason, get it working and running and out and completely ready to rock and roll by this fourth quarter of 2024. That's like it is impossible. He was like, no, it's definitely possible. It would be a tough ask. No, it's not possible. Like, these games, literally, it would literally be going back to the drawing board, scrapping it from an engine that has literally no similarities between the Forza Tech engine and Unreal Engine 5. Zero similarities.
no.
It's not, and we've even heard from indie developers that are transferring the stuff over from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5 that it can take up to a month just for them to transfer things over. And even then they have to redo some of the scripts and the custom scripts for certain things that they've built within Unreal Engine in order to get certain things that they want running. So custom scripts that they've made, they've had to redo and recode. So to expect a AAA studio with hundreds of staff, which means hundreds of moving pieces, to completely scrap a game and rebuild it from the ground up on an entirely different engine and have it released within 1.5 years is not realistic.
No. But I think the person that started this rumor heard that you cannot like use a switch the from go from Unreal Engine 4 to 5. You know, like I think Joe said that also in the show
Yeah.
that he was with us. That it's impossible to just switch from Unreal Engine 4 to 5 because and like he also said it just needs to be a whole new complete game that you need to build.
Yeah.
Probably this person heard that and he thought by himself, okay, let me just throw this in and just say it's gonna be rebuilt the whole game, you know. So it's now
Yeah, it's
crazy.
certainly wild, certainly wild. Boxy, what do you make of
Yeah.
these rumors?
Yeah, I can't really add anything. You guys already covered it perfectly. It's ridiculous. It's crazy that people actually believe it. And I have it actually down as a topic for tomorrow.
Oh,
Not the rumor itself. The rumor is really not important, and should focus on it. My question I want to ask Special Nick tomorrow about this is: we've seen these kind of wild rumors, especially when they kind of are attached to negativity towards Xbox, are floating so wild, like this rumor did. Why is that? Because I have the theory that it is because of the lack of communication from Xbox right now. It, Xbox always does this. They let the fanboys and the trolls and so on take over the narrative instead of taking actions themselves and control the narrative. So yeah, it's a ridiculous rumor, but this is what happens if you stay too quiet for too long. And we've also seen crazy rumors on the PlayStation side of things. It kind of and PlayStation has been even worse with their communication over the last year. Yeah. But then they also had games. So it's different with Xbox and I think a lot of things or why people run with these rumors is just uncontrolled narratives from Xbox side of things. Better marketing, better communication, and you would easily fix that problem.
I completely agree. It's because Xbox have been that deadly silent recently, especially with regards to these titles they've already shown off. So they've already announced Fable, they've already announced Hellblade, they've already announced Avowed. So naturally, when people don't see them for a long time, they start generating these rumors that, oh, I've heard this happening and this happening, and the game's been scrapped and it's been pushed back and X, Y, and Z. Literally because there hasn't been anything coming out from Microsoft to say otherwise.
Yeah.
And this is why it needs changed.
Absolutely. Yeah, indeed.
But yes, thankfully that was the only major hilarious rumor that came out. The final one though, and we rarely cover the takeover stuff, but we will briefly cover it because there has been kind of some updates that are more positive, and when we could kind of likely see an end to this now. The likelihood is that they are expecting the remedies that have already been provided, primarily with regards the agreements with Nintendo, with Steam, with Nintendo and Steam, and also offered to PlayStation with a 10-year agreement, etc. for Call of Duty, which is one of the primary concerns that the CMA and the EU had, which was Call of Duty's exclusivity and keeping it away from gamers, etc. Those remedies look like they're expecting both the EU and the CMA ultimately to make a decision sooner rather than later, and they expect that to essentially be agreed pretty shortly. Outside of that, they expect the knock-on effect to be that it would further implore the FTC to essentially look more at remedies. Now, there has been an FTC spokesman come out and said that they have instructed people to start speaking to Microsoft regarding remedies. Now, they said obviously there hasn't been anything as yet, but they have instructed people to do so. Microsoft, with the EU and the CMA agreed, will look to, at least these are the positive rumours. As I mentioned, these are rumours, so it's again taken with a pinch unless you see something officially confirmed. But the likelihood is once the CMA and the EU have agreed, then they will press ahead and get the deal closed, on the anticipation that even if the FTC were to take it to court, they could have the deal closed anyway, on the anticipation that in court they would win anyway. And ultimately, even with remedies, it would close and finish up. So the likelihood is they are still definitely looking to have this wrapped up by June. It's looking more likely now with the FTC looking to engage it with remedies, whereas previously Lena Khan and her representatives were ultimately completely against that. They have also said they definitely are not looking to take this to federal court. They have stipulated we are not looking to take this to federal court.
That
is the ultimate one.
Line in that.
Yeah, that is the ultimate one. They are not looking to take it to federal, and essentially is if they're keeping it in-house and they're not looking to take it to federal, that means ultimately they are definitely not looking to block this. They are just looking for remedies. And if Microsoft provide those, which I think they will anyway, and I think the remedies is they're saying, essentially going back to them and saying, listen, we've said Call of Duty's not going anywhere, and this is the proof. Here's all the proof you need. We've guaranteed all of these platforms are going to have a minimum of 10 years of Call of Duty, and the reason we won't go longer than that is simply because we cannot predict where the gaming sector is going to be in more than a decade. Like,
Who knows if COD's going to be?
who knows? Like,
where,
what
like,
what
is
everything's going to be?
popularity-wise in 10 years' time.
Who knows if there's going to be boxes? Like, everybody could be cloud, for all we know. Like, Switch, Nintendo will still be doing their own thing. Like, they'll still be handheld. But but every other platform could be simply, like, cloud-based. If internet structure is ultimately where it needs to be within a decade, and a decade is a long time in technology. We've seen how far we've come in 2 decades with technology. Like, in just over, like, 2 decades, we've went from kind of the Sega Mega Drive era to the series consoles. Like, that is a significant jump in technological advance when it comes to gaming systems. So to expect it within a decade or more to not have advanced equally as much, I think it would be a bit of a strange one. So I think the 10-year agreements and the remedies provided will be enough ultimately. But I think that is good news for us specifically and gamers, I think, alike, to eventually get this put to bed and have a realistic timescale of when this is going to end. Mick, are you glad to hear a little bit more of a positive spin on things from both the FTC and Microsoft, not so much the bickering for a change?
I mean, the Xbox news peaked when they bought Bethesda. Everything after that was not important. I don't care about Call of Duty. The only thing that's good that comes from this for me is if Microsoft decide to make a prototype game, because I miss them, because they'll own the rights to that. But other than that, I just don't care. They don't do much for me. Activision never have. So
See, I'm
like I
more.
said,
The one thing that I'm more excited about, and I know, and some people are like, but realistically, it's not going to happen. But the one thing I am excited about, and the one thing Phil Spencer's kind of he wanted from the studios that they're going to be able to have, is to give back a little bit more. And this is what a lot of the developers at Activision are hoping as well. And a lot of them have came out and said this, like behind closed doors. The one thing the Activision Blizzard devs have all said is, what does this mean for us? And on a positive way. Like, they're not thinking negatively. They're thinking, what does this mean for us? Does this mean we're going to get a little bit more freedom? Or does this mean we're going to be able to do something else? Like, they're kind of more upbeat about the situation. Like, they're hoping it happens sooner rather than later. And I think Phil Spencer mentioned this.
Posted videos, haven't they, saying, this is great for us.
Yeah. And I think one thing that Phil Spencer mentioned, and I think that summarizes how I feel about this takeover, is getting the likes of a Toys for Bob working on something brand new. Maybe it is a Banjo-Kazooie game, because I think Toys for Bob would be perfect for Banjo. We've seen the work that they've done on the Spyro remastered trilogy and the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy and the new Crash Bandicoot. Phenomenal work that they've done, and that is exactly the type of game and graphics that a Banjo game has, and the gameplay is exactly suited. So I would say, you guys, would you like to make a Banjo game, or do you want to make a? There's so many other titles that Xbox have got in that. Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata. Any sort of the old Conker and all those kind of things.
Conker's Bad Fur Day, bring back Conker.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong, as much as I don't care about Activision in general, I do care obviously for the devs. If this is, which it will be, it couldn't be worse than working for Bobby Kotick, could it? Do you know what I mean? So for them to get away from that regime, essentially, and be moved into what sounds from all the other companies that work for Microsoft are all saying, this is great for us. We just we just ask for what we need, and they leave us alone to do what we need. And I know a lot of us have said maybe they should be a little bit more with them, a little bit more sort of on their case. The sort of last year was testament to why there just isn't much going on, and maybe they're being a bit too soft on them. But for the guys that work at Activision, coming from what they've been doing, that is like the green pastures on the other side of the battlefield, isn't it? You know what I mean? So fair play to them. That's great. I can't wait for them to be able to maybe stretch the wings and do something new and not just make Call of Duty.
And I think the devs have said
it's going to be difficult for them to get away from that though, because people are still going to want those battle. I know they're missing next year, but people are still going to want those Call of Duties.
I think
don't know how
ultimately,
much freedom they're going to
yeah.
get in that bit. They're still going to have to be pumping out one a year, I think, after next year, after the year off.
Well, that's the thing. They're taking a break after whatever is happening this year, because there's something coming out this year for Call of Duty. I think after that, they are taking a break.
Yeah.
And giving it a little bit more of a longer cycle. And I think ultimately Microsoft, as much as they know it's a 1 year cycle for it, I think they do want to stretch it and have a 2 year cycle for the game. Which would give them a little bit more breathing space, let them actually reinvent the series a little bit more, let them add things to it. But what I've seen from the developers that are working at Activision on Call of Duties, etc., is they don't expect that to change much because they know it's a cash cow, and they understand, they fully understand.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, their primary thing that they've seen from all of them is their optimism and excitement on freedom of what they're potentially developing or going to be able to develop, or new IPs, or working on things they want to work on, or like a lot of the developers have been able to do at Xbox, including the smaller teams or sub teams within teams, like we've seen from several of the studios now, is being able to bring ideas to hierarchy and then get them greenlit from Xbox saying, well, yeah, go and make it. Go on then. Like, go and make your Grounded, or go and make your Pentiment. Do it. Like, if these are ideas you want to go ahead with and make, then go for it. Why not? And we've seen how well received these small titles are. Like, Grounded's a 12-man team. Then we had Pentiment, which is very niche, but it was critically extremely well received, well beyond anybody's expectations, and hats off to them. That's the kind of freedom that Activision and Blizzard devs will be looking at and going, I want that.
And they've got the freedom to join unions as well. So
yes.
Microsoft are recognising the unions. Microsoft have preempted the first one by the sound of it, and you hear that
they've set it up.
Teams from the QA teams from Bethesda have now become unionized.
Yep.
And they are the first team within the Microsoft, certainly, that have got their own union.
Yes.
So that's so they've got to be looking at that and going, well, they were obviously serious because they've let some of the people who are already in there do it. So yeah, fair play to them, and good luck to them all. I hope they all. I'm sure they'll all do well now with Microsoft in charge when it happens eventually.
Yeah,
which is sounding more likely.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the other thing is, once it's over, we can stop talking about this damn deal.
Exactly.
Oh, it'll never stop. It'll never stop. You're gonna have people on the other side bitching and whining about what's going to come to what, and then there's going to be a new deal that comes out about what's being bought next, and then you'll have the same arguments.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to 3-Bit in chat though. He's set his demands for the takeover here. He says, I want a prototype remastered, and I want World of Warcraft to come to console. These are my demands. I think we'd all love to see World of Warcraft, a console version. I think specifically a console version would absolutely be multi-plat. And I think Microsoft would do their utmost to make sure that everybody has access to that game, because that is a money spinner if ever you've seen one.
Yeah, it is, but I'm not going to go near that with a barge pole.
You already
Me neither.
Never got into it.
Yeah, but I understand it though. I understand it.
Jez Corden said though that game has actually already got a mod to work for consoles on PC. Work for
for controllers. Yeah. It works with controllers. Yeah, absolutely, it does.
So
their argument is it wouldn't work on consoles, but Somebody's made it do it on the PC.
Oh, it
So-
absolutely would. I mean, this is the thing I think going forward as well, and this is something that people might find hard to accept, but I think there will come a time where there are certain games on console that will require a mouse and/or a mouse and keyboard in
it.
order to play.
I don't think so.
And there should be.
I don't
There's,
think
there's
so.
support for mouse and keyboard on Xbox anyway. So stop playing around and just go for it.
I don't think so. I don't think that console gaming will ever like require a mouse and keyboard.
How about this then? How about if they sold the games on the Windows Store, and if you own it on the Windows Store, it's cross-play with Xbox. Excuse me.
But you can't use the controller. You have
But you
to
can
use the
only
keyboard.
buy those games from the Windows Store. But if you own an Xbox, they show up in your thingy. Nobody can complain there because
Yeah.
they're not on they're not on the Xbox Store. They're in the Windows Store. But if you bought them and they're on your profile, because we've got the same email addresses, haven't we?
Yeah.
That usually your Xbox account is your Windows account. It shows up on both.
And another one from Blind Giant there as well. Good shout actually. He said, "I wonder if WoW will come to Game Pass PC." That's a good shout actually.
Highly likely.
Yeah.
That's like those King mobile games that Made and Boxy have mentioned. Like they've been mentioning making a specific Game Pass app for mobile games when they get their mobile section in order. When they're making all these mobile games, I can highly see the Game Pass PC getting like all of these King mobile apps, like your whatever they're called, Pop games or whatever the hell they are. Keep forgetting the names of them. I can see those games going
Soda
on
Crush.
to. Yeah, that's the one, Candy Crush. I can see all of those games going onto a Game Pass mobile app, and then you're not having to buy energy. Being a Game Pass subscriber gets you ultimate energy or whatever it is, so you don't have to purchase the energy, and then you just, if you want to buy gems, you can buy gems, etc. I can see a World of Warcraft going into Game Pass, and then you not having to pay the monthly subscription fee for World of Warcraft. You simply just play the game, and then if you want to buy skins or you buy armor sets or whatever you do, then you can do that. I think that would ultimately be the selling point for World of Warcraft on Game Pass PC. Much like putting your Candy Crushes onto Game Pass Mobile. A good shout. Really good shout. Boxy, what are your thoughts on this more positive news from the FTC for a change as opposed to just slinging dung?
Yeah. You know, the thing that made me really glad is that unless the CMA or EU have like a hard case to actually block the deal, it will actually go through. And you're absolutely right. That doesn't mean that then Xbox will own them. But there will still be trials, and those can drag on for years. So we will definitely hear then for a long time all of this about this. But at least the games are then coming to Game Pass, and that's why I made earlier the comment that I am of the full belief that Diablo 4 is gonna launch as an Xbox first-party title by the time, because the EU I think has their date somewhere in March and CMA in April or vice versa, and then the deal will go through. So they will approve it. They will not block it. Like you said, remedies maybe in a written state. They have to like formally give Call of Duty 10 years of multi-plat status or something like that. But then it will go through, and the FTC can do whatever they want because we are gonna have the games then. So that's the good thing, and I cannot wait for this to at least not be the main talking point about Xbox, because that's the one thing about 2022. As interesting as this case is, because it is an interesting thing, it gives you a lot of like background infos, peeks behind the curtains, stuff like that. But it was at point it felt like it's the only talking point you have about Xbox, and that's gonna change, and that's the important part. this year we can actually talk about games. We can talk about other exciting things. So yeah, good news. It will move forward, and I cannot wait for it to be over.
Yeah, ultimately. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Jen, you got anything to add to that?
Like I've always said, the most important thing about this deal is people's job security at Activision, and that's always been a primary point that I've always spoken about because not many people tend to think about that. So that's the most important thing for me for those, and I just can't wait to see the end of it. It's boring me now.
And I would imagine for Pat, it's just the fact that at some point in time we're going to get every Call of Duty there in Game Pass, and you're never going to have to worry about buying a Call of Duty ever
Game Pass
again.
perks.
It's just Game Pass perks,
Yeah.
Game Pass skins. Oh, is that something you're excited
That
about?
would be pretty cool. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. Jumping back on Black Ops and stuff. That would
Yes.
be pretty
Yeah.
nice.
Old school Black Ops. Get those back up and running. Get those. Actually, you know what
That
would
is
be
one
really.
thing I'm looking forward to.
You know what would be great?
when-
You know what would be really great though? Is if when this happens, some of these older Black Ops titles and things got the upscaling features that Xbox rolled out.
FPS
You
boost.
get that 4K 60 on all these old games
Mhm.
with HDR.
That is one of the things I'm mostly looking forward to out of all of this. So I can go through every single one of those Call of Duty games I loved and adored growing up and just play them again. Re-experience those campaigns. Not so much the multiplayer because it's been there, done that, worn the t-shirt. I just want to go through those campaigns again, especially World at War.
Especially if they've redone it, like you say, got that 4K 60 patch with a HDR on, that would be mwah,
Oh yeah.
FPS
perfect.
boost,
FPS boost.
120 FPS. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. But again, like Boxy did mention that though, just these games starting to roll into Game Pass, still being available everywhere else, but just having the fact like we don't have to spend in future, wouldn't have to spend like 70 to 100 for a Call of Duty every year if we wanted to even just try it out. Like even like we still haven't. I don't think any of us have went and tried out Vanguard because we heard so many bad things about it that we just didn't bother. And even on sale, we've been like, nah.
I tried it.
Nah.
I'm only going to play that game when it's in Game Pass, and I'm only
I
going to
tried
play
it.
it for the campaign. That's it.
Yeah, I tried it and played
Wow.
because Chris had it on his account, so I tried it and nah. Tried. I was on
I've
playing
not
the
heard great
campaign.
things about it. Even the campaign,
Yeah.
I've not heard great things about it.
No,
Yeah, I'd play it just for the achievements.
I did just for I got so far and just went, I can't do this. Nope.
But a nice little roundup with the show there for today. But to finish it off, from all of these chaps here, I've got one question for you all. And I'm going to go round each of you individually. And this might be a little bit of a tougher one to answer because you might have something ready off the cuff. But your New Year's content creation resolution, what are you going to do this year for your channels individually? Or what are you setting out to do? That might be brand new, might be something you're bringing back, might be something you want to change. But what's your New Year's content creators resolution for your channels? Mick, I'm going to start with you. What's your resolution for 2023 for content creation?
More guests. Gonna get some more guests on this year. It was a bit of a funny one. We started quite late in the year last year, and obviously it's been Christmas, New Year, so it's been difficult to get anybody to actually put a put a date on when they can make it and everything. But now everything's finished. I'm hoping now it's going to return to normal. So we should be getting more people, I think, able to come in and join. I know we've got Luton Lizaroo from Sea of Thieves Fest. I'm going to try and get Music Me on at the same time because they're both from Rare and they're both in charge of the Sea of Thieves Fest. So hopefully get them on soon. Lazy Buzzard is another one who said he's coming. Captain Logan. Sightless has said he expressed an interest. He'd like to come back sometime. So we'll probably have him back on. But try and get a few more people on.
Maybe even Mike Chapman.
That's the hope one day.
You just never know. You just never know.
I will speak to him. I'm gonna ask him in person when I see him
Yeah,
next. So.
broach him. Definitely, definitely. Awesome stuff. Boxy, your New Year's content creators resolution. What are you looking to do this year? What's your resolution for this year for your channel?
Yeah, that's a good question. You could have asked us that up front. So what is my New Year's resolution for the channel? I think I definitely want to go back to doing more regularly edited videos. I just love doing them. They're just so time consuming. And with the new job, um, I was not able to put out like at least one video per week, which I did for like 2.5 years straight. And I got the new job, and for the last 6 months, it was more like every 3 weeks or so where I was able to put out a video. So that's definitely one thing. The other thing is, of course, for our podcast, Dutch, the world of gaming. We've already made some cool changes. There are a lot of other new changes coming in terms of like production quality. But the thing I want to do more is like invite more people from the community, invite more often like developers, and we've had like the Deliver Us Mars guys. Keokin was on there. It was so cool, and to have like these kind of developers more often on the show, that's definitely one thing. And then I definitely also want to grow the podcast on the podcast services around the globe, so on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, and so on. That's definitely something I want to do. So yeah, but the most important thing for me is I always do this for the interaction with the community. I just love the community, and I think this is the most important resolution I have. I just want to bring joy to the community, having fun, chatting, and talking about gaming, and I hope I can succeed in that.
Most definitely, most definitely. And I'm looking forward to seeing your full videos come back more frequently as well. We've obviously had one not too long ago.
Thank you.
Yeah. Obviously an awesome video as always. Very high production quality, but it does take time, especially when you need it of that quality. It does take a lot of time, but it'll be great to see them back for sure.
Thank
Definitely. Jen, you've got a lot of projects in the work yourself anyway that I know you're working on, but what's your resolution for 23?
For content creation, I want to get back into a flow of making videos. I've been stuck with that over the past year with not knowing what I want to do on the channel, and I'm still trying to figure that out, what I want to do on my channel. I do have an idea for, I wouldn't say it's a podcast of sorts, but it's more of a sort of solo show where I can just talk about things that I might have played or watched during the week. I'll start that out as a solo thing, and then maybe bring in guests over time, just to talk about things, just all sorts, gaming, movies, TV shows, things like that. But obviously, I'm working on my comic idea. I started to write that properly, and that's coming along pretty well. So yeah, my biggest goal for the year is that, and unveiling that to people when I'm working on some video content for that, to announce it fully. Not sure when I'll be dropping that though, because I'm not too sure when the right time is for that. I need to feel like it's the right time, and I don't think it is just yet. But I have teased that obviously end of last year, and I think I'm getting closer to that, but I can't say for sure just yet.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Patio, Mr. Twitch streamer, or head of Twitch streaming. What's your resolution for this year for your channel?
Well, I want to see if I can upgrade a little bit with the stream, of course. see if I can get a better laptop for it, to able to be using OBS, because you
Yes.
have so much more things that you can do, and better quality as well. Um, I'm also recently been um, talking with some Dutch streamers, bigger streamers, to see if I can connect with them to play more games with them, and also be able to show that on my stream as well. But it's on a low pitch, so like you never know what they're gonna say or if they are able to do it. So, but there's some making some um, yeah, I need to wait for that. So, and of course, I wanna see if I can upload some more videos on this channel as well. It's been a while since I've uploaded something or shared with you, Dutch, so you can like put it on the channel. So I'm gonna focus also on that. Um, yeah, I think that those are the the main things that I'm gonna do for
Yeah.
this year. See if I
Awesome.
can upgrade or see if I can yeah, get in touch with like some bigger streamers on Twitch, Dutch streamers in this case. So yeah.
Awesome. No, it sounds. It
Once you get
sounds.
a new laptop,
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
don't forget that you've got me, Dutch, and Boxenberger to help you with OBS and all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And we can
Awesome.
all get you
Thank
set
you,
up,
guys.
get you some awesome overlays, get you some fancy graphics going. You know how it works.
Yeah.
We'll get you spick and span.
Oh, well, thanks.
Definitely.
Thanks.
All the good stuff.
Yes. Most definitely.
Awesome.
Most definitely.
Awesome.
And for us, yeah, for the midweek mix-up, specifically for this channel, of course, you've already got 3 awesome shows that are guaranteed either weekly or fortnightly. So, of course, you have Sea of Tuesdays Playcast hosted by Mick every Tuesday. You've got the Midweek Mix-Up podcast every Wednesday. You also have the weekend edition every second Sunday. But what I also want to start doing is bring back edited videos at least once a fortnight.
That's good to hear.
Going to be doing a little bit different though. The one thing I really enjoyed doing in the last one that I did was for Starfield, was kind of a more in-depth analysis of what upcoming games are about, give a lot more breakdown of what the games are about, what technology it's using, kind of give people all of the information that they can about upcoming video games that might not be there or easily findable, and make it into a nice, easy to ingest video. I really enjoyed doing the one for Starfield because I think there's a
I'd
lot
like
of
to see what you did with Starfield for Redfall.
Yes. Well, I can certainly do that. I'll get working on that one. I know there's a lot of upcoming games that people want more info on, where info is not easily findable. And the feedback that I got for Starfield was that nobody, especially when it came to kind of some of the information on the factions and things like that, that information wasn't really readily available to people to find out at that point. So nobody knew about it. So when they were watching the video, they were like, I had no idea it was this in depth. So that's the kind of edited videos I want to do. So at least once a fortnight, I'll choose an upcoming game, do a real kind of deep dive as to what the game's about and what can expect and things like that. But yeah, it's that's one of the things I want to add. And another thing, because we are doing the indie showcases, of course, we've got one coming in April and the other one in September. The one thing I want to do as well is probably again once a fortnight. I'm going to be doing a specific indie-specific stream where I play kind of the most recent indie game releases of the last fortnight. Pick a few of them up, stream them, kind of talk about them, play through them, and see if I can get people excited about some of the indie games that are on either Gamepass or other services. So people can kind of, that might have been maybe a little bit about trying them out. Maybe he's getting a little bit excited about playing some indie games. So yeah, I'm going to be adding edited videos back in and doing a mini indie stream kind of every fortnight as well, just to highlight some of the awesome indie releases that kind of get released. Because let's face it, guys, indie games release literally every other day. So there's a lot of games to play and a lot get missed. So
There's a lot of weird indie games out there as well, especially
Yeah.
if you look through Steam. Proper
Yeah.
weird stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So that's my resolution for this year. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I can't wait to start doing edited videos again because I've got a lot of equipment and I've got the laptop capable now and I've got the software capable to really mess around and create some awesome videos. So I'm looking forward to getting into that and doing that. So yeah, that's my resolution for this year. So looking forward to a lot of content on the channel. Not just from me, but all of these guys as well combined. Lots of content from ourselves as a collective. Excuse the pun. But yes, a lot of content to come, so I'm really looking forward to that. But that wraps up the show for this week. An awesome start to 2023. And let's get our outros going. First and foremost, Mick, let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up this week. And you're muted.
You're muted.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've got obviously this Sunday we'll have the stream with Sightless Combat. Not sure what we're playing this week, but I did get him a nice outfit for Sea of Thieves, which if anybody's seen the new Oracle outfit, is actually the character is wearing a blindfold.
Nice.
So I just thought
Nice.
perfect outfit for him. So I got him that. So I'm not sure if we're playing Sea of Thieves or Minecraft Dungeons this week, but yeah, we'll be doing something anyway. That's Sunday 3 till 5. Obviously, see you Tuesdays every Tuesday with yourself and Jen and Chris and whoever else we can get on the second ship. If we can keep the second ship in the server, unlike this week. And Pat, we're still blaming you for not turning up. Otherwise, we wouldn't have lost that
Oh,
second ship.
it weren't Pat, it was Parent Plug.
Oh, Parent Plug. Sorry, not Pat. Parent Plug. Sorry, buddy.
We'll blame you anyway.
Because I was looking at your name as I said it, so we're going to blame you anyway. No. But no, Parent Plug, sorry. Yeah, he didn't. We thought he'd be on and he didn't turn up. And then Mina got kicked from the game and we lost the ship. So we're like, oh, so that was a bit of a disaster this week. But we still had a good time. We still did made a good bit of loot, didn't we? And had a bit of a confrontation with some people, which was good fun. And yeah, so that'll be See Tuesdays, and then obviously here with you on Wednesdays. No unboxing videos at the moment. Not much going on, and I haven't got anything. I think I've received everything now that I had previously ordered. So I don't think I'm waiting on anything now. So it's going to just be a new year, really, of waiting to see what new collectibles get released and which ones I can get away with buying.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously that's me on Twitter, Xbox, Twitter, everywhere is Xbox Speak 29. Yeah.
It's not too late to order that bottle of rum, Mick. There's still one left in stock.
Oh, shut up. When you hurry up and buy it, so I don't. Please.
I can't at the moment. I can't waste no more money.
I know. That's fine. I think she'd walk out on me if I did.
Next up, Boxy. We've got an awesome show lined up on your channel tomorrow, so let people know where they can find you and what you've got coming up.
Yeah, tomorrow we have the World of Gaming over on my channel. And in case anyone has not found that channel yet, it's very easy to find. It's Boxenberger everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Xbox, PlayStation, Boxenberger. And yeah, tomorrow we have the World of Gaming with Special Nick from Xbox Era. So we're going to break down Xbox in 2023.
It'll be like a 5-hour stream. We'll be going all night.
It might be.
So
it might be that we have to pull an all-nighter because Special Nick is all fired up to talk about Xbox in 23 and beyond. And of course, we will also cover a couple of other juicy topics. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. Other than that, I'm already working on the next video. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Glad to hear it. I'm excited for tomorrow. Nick's a funny guy, but I will try and keep him on reels. We'll try.
I just
You
remember
do
the
that,
like
man.
4-hour
You do that.
weekend show we did with with Nick.
It was never meant to be 4 hours. It's always meant to be 2,
Nope.
but 2 extra hours later.
Uh,
Oh dear me. It was good fun
Oh
though.
my god.
Looking forward to it though. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's gonna
Definitely.
be great. It's gonna be great.
Awesome stuff. Next up, General C. Let people know where they can find
Hello.
you, brother, and what you've got coming up.
You can find me on Twitch. I'll be back to me Twitch streaming this Friday, where I'll be playing Demon Souls for the first time and suffering. So yeah, you can watch me cry, rage, and moan all at the same time, probably on Friday. That should be maybe a little bit earlier in the day, not so late at night. Probably around about 6 p.m. maybe actually. So yeah, that's where I'll be streaming, and I'm gonna be trying to work on some videos too, but no guarantees. I'm trying to get back into the flow of that and figuring out things. Of course, back here Sunday, on Tuesdays for Sea of Thieves, and obviously here Wednesdays.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And last but not least, our resident Twitch streamer, Patju. Let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up.
Yeah. You guys can find me, of course, on Twitch under the name Petu070. Same counts for Twitter as well. And what I have coming up is I've participated last month in a huge giveaway done by Game Mania here in the Netherlands. So I'm gonna wait for the results.
I thought you was going to
Thank
say you
you,
won
Dutch,
another
as
giveaway.
well.
I was going to go, what? Another one?
Who do you think you are,
I
mate?
have my fingers crossed, mate. I have my fingers crossed because you can actually win the Jotner edition of God of War Ragnarok. It's the I think the Hammer
Yes.
Mjolnir.
edition. Yeah, and they are also giving away a Sony Bravia television, 55-inch. So
I'm just going to
yeah,
start
fingers
sending competitions your way, and you can enter them for me.
yeah, so
'cause you've got good luck.
yeah, man, it's like I said, fingers crossed. I don't know how many people participated, so probably somewhere this month they're gonna come with the results. And of course, I'll be streaming. I don't have any days or times that I'm gonna be streaming, but just follow me, turn on the notifications, and you will see when I'm online. Mostly, probably Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Warzone, so and maybe some other games, but it depends in what kind of mood I am and what I want to play.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And
Sweet.
finally, a huge shout out to the chat this evening. It's awesome to see a lot of new and old faces in here, but great to see the regular crowd as well. And we hope you enjoyed the first show back for 2023. Definitely looking forward to cracking on with the rest of the year now. There's a lot of exciting things to come. So a massive shout out to you guys. And of course, for those who are new here or new tuning in for the first time, if you did enjoy the show, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It does help us out massively. And of course, if you've got anything that you want to talk about or anything you want to comment on after the fact, please leave a comment down below. We do read them and try to reply to them all if we can. Certainly try to get through them all. But as always, guys, look forward to seeing you all on Midweek Mix-Up Weekend Edition, on Sea of Tuesday's Playcast, over on the World of Gaming. And of course back here again for the Midweek Mix-Up podcast every Wednesday. But until next time, guys, have an awesome evening, and we will see you all again next time. Goodbye.
See you later, guys.